And we're live.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
All right.
Oh my God.
Hey, is
Yeah.
is what it is.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for tuning in if you're watching this later. Guys, I'm having a hard couple of days. So I don't know if this is going to last the usual incredible 3 hour trip that we tend to have, but
A 3 hour
I
tour.
know.
Oh,
I know. Let's see how it goes. I overindulged in some goat cheese a couple days ago, and
ain't been pretty.
I don't have lactose intolerance, but I do have allergies to milk protein, but I don't know which one. And there's at least two types of casein, and goat cheese is predominantly type 2. So I wonder if that's the milk protein. I don't.
Something didn't.
It's not good.
No.
So, hi, Andrew, Ola, and Suzanne, and Cindy, and Lambden. Um, okay, I think just because this isn't the main topic, but it's something that needs to be
Well,
said.
I was gonna let everybody sort of get in.
I know,
Yeah.
but I
you know.
put the link, and it's like the first thing we posted. I put a link in for the Facebook group for next year's meet and greet in Ajijic. And we had a Zoom call with KJ and Craig from Truly Remarkable Life.
That was sort of mind blowing. I mean, the amount of work that they have already put into this event is just like what? I mean, uh, they have got venues lined up. They have volunteers lined up.
Committees.
Committees. It's like, okay, I'm glad they've got this rolling because we don't have to do a whole lot other than show up, which will be fun. But we can tell everybody that the dates have been selected. It's going to be Super Bowl weekend 2026, which is February 7th and 8th, for the subscribers to come in and meet. The actual content creators are going to start the evening of the 5th, and the 5th and 6th, there's going to be some things for the content creators to get together, do some, collabs and compare notes and know how you're doing this and how you're doing that.
Yeah.
And then on the 7th, the talk is that what is going to happen is in the morning, they've got this thing all like a convention. There's going to be some breakout groups and possibly roundtable discussion, possibly some of both. We're still trying to determine, and part of that's also going to depend upon who all shows up, as far as the content creators.
Yes.
Since we just came up with this, we have not yet really been able to get a confirmed list of who all is going to be there, other than.
Well, the list is being created,
Yeah.
and we're going to have a way to lock in those confirmations, like maybe a small deposit on something. They're working on hotel blocks so that creators will have a definitive place to go, and people who are visiting as well. They anticipate that this will be huge. They have a lot of people just in Ajijic and Chapala alone.
Yeah, just in that area, there's a big interest in this going. And now you throw in, we had people that traveled last year, Puerto Vallarta. Tom came all the way from the Philly area. So, people were coming from all over to come and participate. So with better timing as far as being able to give everybody an ample amount of time to go, yeah, this is something I want to do. You can book your travel reservations and everything a lot earlier and put it on your schedule and not have to go, oh man, I've got something else. Because we had 1, 2, 3, 4 creators that I know of that had prior commitments that were really wanting to attend, but due to the fact that, weddings, travel plans, vacation, but whatever. We're unable to make it work. So that's, for creators, it would be the 5th through the 8th. For subscribers, it could be the 7th through the 8th. You can come down as long as you want. The actual meet and greet, as far as what we did last year or this year in San Miguel, of just everybody getting together and mingling, that will occur Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. And
the first Saturday in February.
Super Bowl weekend.
Yep.
And they're working on setting up places that people are going to be able to congregate so we can have Super Bowl watch parties.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a busy weekend.
It does at that.
So we do know that that's the confirmed date. We are confirming that it will be the first weekend of February. And the event itself, the main event, will be on the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
They're working on accommodations for activities, and they're working on blocking out hotel rooms, if at all possible. And that's about as much as we can tell you, but at least we have a date.
Yeah, and the other part is we want to get this in before Carnival started down there, because that starts on the 17th, and that gets really busy. So we're sort of hoping that there's a little bit of a lull pre-Carnival that's going to make it a little easier to get some accommodations.
It is a busy time of the year for the foreigner and expat community in that area.
Especially those who are fleeing snow and things like that.
So there is anticipation that this will have huge participation. And we want to get that out as early as possible so people have an adequate amount of time to plan.
Yep.
And that's it. So we're gonna move on over here and say hi to everybody and start this talk about Airbnb. Hola, Gringissimo. Hope it's not tourist. No.
Yeah, see, there's some people who are at the SMA right there. You got, Gringissimo was there, and Shane was there, Ruby was there, and Papaw's last year he wanted to come on down, but they had a vacation. I think they were at one of the Rius last year for the resort, and quite honestly, let's see, I love all y'all, but swim up bar for 4 or 5 days or San Miguel, God, that'd be a tough one to make the call on.
I'm actually going to put this in here just so it's on the screen for anybody who wants to write it down.
26.
Oh, if anyone who wants to write it down and show that. There we go. So there's the date. And if someone comes along and they watch this later, there's the date.
we are. I mean, Craig and KJ are working diligently on this.
And they're used to doing event planning.
Yeah.
So they're very good at this. They're even thinking about possibly having a stage where we can do topics of discussion.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the round table or breakout sessions. If we can get the right YouTube creators there, I know that last year, Mariana from Mexico Relocation Guide really wanted to participate, but she was committed to going to a wedding that particular day.
Yeah.
And so, if she were to have a breakout session where people could come and ask her questions, I can't think of anybody that would garner more people to come and listen to her than Mariana. Good God, the woman knows everything.
She would be really, really good. We're also hoping that because it's a little more centrally located, that we'll get more participation from creators who have either one, been to Ajijic before, or two, are on the West Coast. It's not as much for them to travel. So really hoping this will come out fantastic. I mean, we really do anticipate that it will. Just the number of people in Ajijic alone who are already there.
Well, yeah. Are going to be, and quite honestly, with the success that we had in SMA, that we really didn't anticipate it quite going off as well as it did. but everybody that was in attendance, creators, subscribers, it was a phenomenal event. So, hopefully even more of that energy is going to be there. And wow.
Hey, and hi, Jesse and Eric. Hola. And I like this. Paul, this is fantastic. This is a great idea. To combine the trip with getting your residency. That is a very good idea. I mean, why not?
I can't see any reason why not. If you're going to be there for a while, let's just go ahead and kill two birds with one stone.
All right. Let's see. If I undo this, does it take it off? Oh, yes. Definitely would make some excellent video content. Mm-hmm. And we have never been to the lakeside area, but we will be.
In about 5 months, 6 months. It's hard to believe that I'm saying that. 5 months.
I know. It's hard to believe. It really is.
I mean, it's just like, we thought, we're going to be in Querétaro for 7 months. We're going to be able to kick back and relax.
Oh, there hasn't been any.
And we only have 2 months left. And it's just like.
And we've still had things to do. I mean, realistically, we had a lot of maintenance type stuff that needed to be done here. And with me working, the only time I can go do anything pretty much is on a Saturday, unless I want to take the day off and not get paid at all. So, because I don't get benefit time because I'm on a contract. So weekends come and go, sometimes we go to a friend's. We had to go get glasses. We're going to have to go.
I mean, and some of the things we have knocked out. I mean,
dentist.
She went and got a cavity filled
two dentist appointments.
2 dentists. But last week she got her cavity filled that she found when she went in for the pre-check and the cleaning and everything else. And folks, I gotta tell you.
Oh.
I mean, it was literally 20 minutes from the time we walked into the door to the time she was going hasta luego, and 700 pesos.
She feel that's anesthetic and doing the entire filling composite, the equivalent of $35. Incredible, right? So we've been doing things like that, getting our eyes checked, getting glasses.
And give you an idea on glasses, we went in, the checkup was 75 pesos. No, 150 pesos a piece.
Yep.
And this is with an ophthalmologist. And then both of us, I think part of it because of our age, got a couple of extra tests done. And everything, every time they said it was like gratis. They just wanted to make sure.
The extra test didn't cost anything.
And
I had at least 4, maybe 5 different eye tests that were done. I had got different types of eye drops in 3 different cases. Well, we were there for a total of almost 3 hours.
Well, yeah, and you had mentioned that you did have a floater.
I had a floater in my eye. They wanted to check my retina.
They were as thorough could be. And it's a hurry up and wait type of place. But, we got in there, got seen, got everything done. I got 2 pairs of glasses, and I spent about $178 per pair. Per pair.
Remember, that's no insurance. That's just buy them.
And these are, I'm old. I don't have a problem.
They're bifocals. My glasses were about $250 per pair, but I got everything. I got polycarb. I got anti-glare. I got progressive bifocals. I got, what else did I get? Blue light filter. I mean, I got everything they had. Whatever it was they had, I got it all. $250 a pair. So I have spent that much or more with eye insurance in the United States.
Oh, God.
So on a single
almost
pair.
Double that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, all this stuff is good. But, it takes time. You want to go out, you want to do things, you want to see things. And then, of course, I'm working. And then we got the weekends, and you have to do it all on the weekends. We're going to get a bank account here pretty soon, too.
We go pick up our glasses next week, and she's just going to do a half a day. And so we're going to as soon as she's done, we're going to the bank.
Yeah.
And she's going to open a bank account. Don't need two. One is plenty. And then we'll have that. And then we just got to go pick up our glasses. So
yes. And Sleepy Joe wants to know where your beer and your stick is.
Beer's here, and I can't smoke inside the house. So
that is true. He cannot. So, hi, Stephanie. And yes, Suzanne, JC Travels is there, as is JB, Jerry Brown. I know I'm missing some people. Of course, KJ and Craig. I know I'm missing some people. There actually are a lot of creators that are there, but
and
what's expected to happen is there are even more residents who will want to attend.
Yes, and because we were in Ajijic during, snowbird season, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be down there who are considering possibly relocating to Mexico. And, okay, here's a great opportunity to come out and meet other people. So
awesome. Oh, and look, this is a wonderful comment. Thank you so much, Laura. I'm a little embarrassed sometimes when I read things like this, but La Crucecita.
Oh man.
We really like the vibe there.
It's still on the list.
Much.
It's
hot, but it's awesome.
It's as hot as the vibe is hot.
Ooh.
Like that one, huh?
Ooh.
I mean, no, we love the vibe there and everything else, and given the right housing, I could see.
Oh yeah. We could live in Huatuco pretty easy as long as we had the right kind of housing. Something you would need that would make life comfortable there. But the area is just fantastic.
Oh.
And the snorkeling there isn't the best I've ever seen. The best snorkeling I've ever seen in Mexico is literally off the coast of Cozumel.
Well, yeah, it's one of the best in the world, baby. So I
know. But it's nothing to just sneeze at. It's very cool, and the water is beautiful and clear.
But as pretty as the water is off of Cozumel for snorkeling, the visuals of the water and the beaches on Cozumel don't even come close to touching Huatuco.
Huatuco has the prettiest beaches I've ever seen in all of my life. And we haven't even been to West Coast yet. So there's probably other pretty beaches in our future, but it was impressive.
It's
very impressive.
It's strong.
Yeah, very much so. And the grass fire. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. We don't know if it was a unintentional control fire that got out of control, or if it was literally just because it is dry right now and hot, and it just.
And I mean, it literally could have been something as easy as somebody tossing a cigarette out because it was right beside the car that runs from Centro out here to Milenio 3 and then out eventually to the airport if you want to wiggle on some dirt roads. And somebody tossed a cigarette out there because it just went down into this bowl that sits between where we are.
We drove by it last night.
Milenio 3, and there's this bowl down there, and it's just like scorched earth. And
if I lived in the houses that were right across the road from us, and
the footage would have been stunning.
I would have been a little bit nervous if I lived in those houses because it was right behind those houses.
I mean, it was bad enough that the eyes were burning. It was similar to sitting around a campfire and no matter where you go, the wind is always blowing the smoke in your face.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was like. It was just like tears going down, the burn feeling, and the ash was just
the ash, the grassy ash, because it was all stringy ash and it was just falling out everywhere. And then later that night, I didn't see the glow anymore. But interestingly enough, there were red flashing lights inside this development at the bottom of the hill. So I don't know if maybe they were checking the houses over there to see if they were okay. I don't know. But it seemed like it went out. They got it out, or it went out on its own. I don't know. I'm glad it went out because, boy, that smoke was something. It was something.
It made it difficult to go out and want to smoke.
So, Mark, did you know you could get TRICARE? I didn't even know you could.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Honestly, we basically have, been doing this totally out of pocket because, knock on wood, other than a broken arm, it's been fairly healthy time down here. So
should you maybe look into that? I didn't
don't
know.
know.
I didn't know you could get TRICARE as a vet.
I mean,
I remember processing that plan for people when they would come to the doctor's office, but I thought for some reason you had to have somebody on active duty or something.
No.
You've never had TRICARE?
No.
Ever?
No.
We've always had commercial insurance.
Always worked someplace we had it. So.
Okay.
And then it became, if it was available, you had to take it. So.
I was a trooper. Oh yes, when I fell at that concert, look, but I was in my happy place. When I first started going to that particular band's festival, it started in that resort. Mm-hmm. So that resort is sort of like, it was like returning home. The first 2 years were there. Then they went to Punta Cana, and then they went someplace I didn't go because we didn't want to go there.
Moon Palace. But
when they returned to that location, it felt like going home. And it didn't matter. I liked three of the bands that were playing, two of them a lot. And I was really excited to see them. I was happy to be back home. And it sucked that I missed night 2. But I was going to make the best of it. I mean, what are you going to do? You can either be miserable or you can try to make the best of it. And I was in a good place. I got scolded at a few times for trying to consume some alcohol because...
That was me.
I know, because, well, I was on pain meds too. So that might not have been a good thing.
I wasn't going to bitch about moderate consumption.
Yeah, it was moderate.
But no, baby, it went beyond moderate. You were, when you were doing the singing and the dancing and then almost falling over and your ass ended up back in the chair. Fortunately, it was like,
what are you talking about?
When
we didn't even have any alcohol in the room, hardly.
No, I'm talking out by the pool when you and Laura and
that's right. We were singing all night long. That's right. We were jamming.
Yeah, that was not moderate consumption at that point. That was a little past moderate. So
yeah, we were having a good time.
I understand, but it was like you weren't supposed to be doing that. So a little moderate was good. But anyway.
And I missed their festival this year because they took it to Florida, and I didn't want to go to Florida.
And $28 margaritas.
Yeah, $28 margaritas. It wasn't all inclusive. I'm like, no. Here we go. Hi, Kathy. Hey, I live in Ajijic in San Juan Cosala. Okay, that's cool. And we're going to be there. We're actually going to be in Ajijic in what month was that?
I think
we've made
October to November.
We've made a few edits, and we'll explain a few of the edits. We are going to be in that area from October 11th to November 15th. We were going to be there for 2 months, but we reduced it to 1, and I'll explain a little bit about that. I'm just a little bit.
I'm not saying
JC will be in Arizona in February. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that he likes to go north in the camper trailer.
The RV.
RV.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wasn't.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
I love Ajijic. It's just so darn expensive. We noticed that when we were trying to find Airbnbs, which is the main topic for this evening after we get off all this. Yeah, it was pretty expensive. And because we have specific needs, it was hard to find what we wanted for anything less than like $4,000 a month. I'm not even kidding. So we kept going further and further down the road, getting closer and closer to Jocotepec. And finally, I'm like, I don't want to be all the way down there.
No, we're spending all our day in traffic.
Right.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, so we found a place. It is a condo. It's still a little pricier than I want, but it wasn't $4,000 a month.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
And it's between Chapala and Ajijic.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's right there almost at the Walmart. So it was like, okay.
I think anywhere where you have a lot of foreigners living, If they know they can get the money, they will.
And there's a lot of demand, and the demand is higher than supply. So, capitalism at its best right there, going boom.
And, even here in Querétaro, I don't know where people were getting this. They were saying this was like the most expensive city in Mexico. And maybe what they meant is maybe it had one of the highest inflation rates. I'm not really sure.
Merida.
That was Merida for a long time. Yucatan in general had really exceeding the inflation rates. Querétaro has gotten more expensive, but I don't feel like it's. I
don't think it's out of line with anything else we've seen.
No, I don't think it's the most expensive place we've been yet, but it is more than it was 2 years ago. So
part of it is 2 years ago we weren't on platform. Again, something we're going to talk about, and this time we are, because we were renting direct from Roddy and Landy from Life and Louie, so we were only paying $800, and we're only paying $1,400 here now. But even at a rate of $1,400, it is substantially lower than a lot of the places we have been staying.
Right.
Puebla, Oaxaca, Huatulco, Playa Car, Tulum.
Well, remember that $1,400 is off platform.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but we saved a little bit, but even so, this was one of the lower end.
It was.
As far as price wise.
If you could have seen some of the ones I wanted to get that were in Centro, oh my Lord. Like we're talking $4,000 or $5,000 a month. That's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not willing to come down, even if we offered to go off platform and pay a fraction of that. They were not interested. So I guess they figured they were going to get their money. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's been a good stay here. I don't have any complaints about it. But things are expensive in certain cities, particularly in certain areas of certain cities. I think
sounds like any place in the world. There's places to go to get your bargains, and there's places to go that, you want to go to Antilla Lifestyle Center, you are going to pay.
No, it's I think our most expensive stay today may very well have been
Playa Car.
Was it Playa Car?
Playa Car.
Yeah, I think it was, but I think Puebla was very, very close.
Puebla was
neck
and neck.
Puebla was very close because it quite literally was the equivalent of having a downtown apartment in any major city.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was a nice apartment.
It was very nice. So
it only had a bathroom downstairs. That's the only problem I ever had with that.
I know. I just think it depends on where it is and what the population there is willing to pay. If people say no, then they lower the price. But if people keep saying yes.
When she was running her art business, I always told her, I said, you're not charging enough until you have people say no.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, your time and your talent are valuable. Got to be a point where somebody goes, I can't afford that. Okay, now we're getting to the right price point, because otherwise you're going to be doing things that you could be doing for twice as much. So
yeah. Let's try to get through some of these comments before we jump into
that. One good thing about Huatulco
Airbnb
is that it pretty much is a flat line. It doesn't vary, but by about 3 or 4 degrees all year long. It's in that 89 to 92.
But the humidity goes up in the summer.
Yeah.
And so that is, yes, see if you can handle the humidity, because it makes it feel like it's like 44 Celsius or something.
And go see Omar at Sanctuario.
Oh, Santuario. He has a mezcal bar.
Mezcal bar that is just a couple of blocks from the Zocalo, and Omar is great.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
We need to say hi to Omar. I check in with him on Facebook every now and then, and they run little ads on Facebook for parties and things that they're having. So it's a cool place to go. Andrew, watch some of your past videos on applying for residency. I'll be 46 with military pension. Will I have any issues due to my age for applying for residence? No.
I don't think so.
But not all, but a lot of the consulates will not allow you to apply for permanent
until
you are official retirement age in their eyes. You may say you're retired. Yeah.
But okay. The whole thing is, okay, so you got to go the temporary route. You get your butt here in the country, and then when you go to the INMs down here, it is night and day what you do with the consulates up in the States versus the INM offices down here. They pretty much are like, okay.
Yeah, but it does make a difference if the consulates in the US do not allow you to apply for permanent because they don't think you're old enough. They'll give you temporary. When you come down here, you will have 1 year of temporary initially. You cannot apply for permanent until you have a total of 4 years under the belt. So you would have to reapply for 3 more years.
I mean,
and then go permanent.
It's sort of, you just have to play the game. You know, go, okay, you're going to come down here. You get your temporary for a year. You go back, and it's basically a rubber stamp for the renewal for 3 more years. You pay them again. You're gonna incur a little bit more expense because you're gonna have for the renewals and everything else. But then at the end of the 3 years, or the 4 years total, you're gonna be like, I've been here 4 years. I'm ready to go. And then INM will be like,
and then you got to pay for that too.
Yep.
You end up paying more in the long run. You do. There were consulates that were allowing people to say, yes, I am retired. Here's my pension. No, I'm not 60 some years old. And they were fine with it. But there have been people who have been turned away and instructed to apply for temporary instead. And we don't know which consulates those are. And even if we did, they change all the time. They're always changing.
The consulate general could have changed that, in there, and the new one may be, a hardliner that goes, we're doing it this way, or they could go from a hardliner to somebody going, hey, if they're good people and they got the money, let them come in. So,
look at this. You spent 433 pesos at the Walmart. Well, what did you buy at the Walmart? Curious.
I mean, 433, that's about a case of beer.
A whole case?
Yeah.
Can't take it back on the cruise ship. They won't let you.
Well, I'm just pointing out that's,
Yeah. And then, this is, Laura, okay. You got one of those full face covering snorkel masks. I never regret getting one of those, ever. Number one, you don't have to worry about whether you're breathing through your mouth or your nose. It's all there, right? Number two, you've got full vision all the way around. Nothing's blocking you. I mean, I love them. I love those full face masks. You look like you're on a spaceship, but I don't care.
Yeah, well, for some of us, they don't work.
Yeah, if you've got facial hair.
It's and which is fine with me because, if you guys have been with us for a while, I have an agreement with the Sharks. I don't go in their domain. They don't come out of here other than to appear on Saturday Night Live back in the 70s. That's the only time that, Land Shark.
Candy Graham.
Yeah, Candy.
Shane, did you get permanent? Did you get permanent residency? If it was permanent, I'm wondering what consulate did you go to? Like I said, they're all different, and they change their policies all the time. Some people have a hard time.
The only consistent thing is the inconsistency.
For sure. Hi, Max.
Hey, Max.
Hey, Max. Here we go. You're thinking about trading a Yukon for a Tesla. Well, Sleepy Joe, if you've seen charging stations, you got to get it here first.
No. He's up in Zakia.
Oh, okay. So you're here. You're already here.
Right.
Okay.
So that makes sense. I mean, because the hardest part is if you wanted to bring a Tesla here.
That's hard.
That, it's not like that drive we were looking at the other day, just sort of reminiscing, going from Saltillo to Zacatecas, and that I think we passed, and that was like 6 hours.
That was a long
6 hours
drive.
on the road, and I think we passed 3 gas stations the entire drive.
Yeah.
And no, you're not going to find an EV.
And cell signal was dropping out, and I mean, you would get stranded. Just imagine if you were trying to drive an EV. That.
I mean, then that was one of the, well, if you put a big solar panel up there and just sort of, that,
I know
that,
but you're already here. Okay, so I mean, I think that's cool.
I mean, for tootling around here in Querétaro, absolutely.
And Jesse is right. A lot of people are getting very excited about the BYDs. In fact, isn't that what Ernie got?
That's what Ernie got.
That is what Ernie got. But as Joe is saying here, this Model Y is going to be under 28K. And don't forget that Mexico is also lining up to release their first 100% Mexican-made electric vehicles. And they're supposed to be as low as potentially 15K. Now, those are tiny little cars. They're tiny, but just saying.
Yeah.
It's an option. No. Oh, Marilyn, thank you for this question. No, they haven't visited. On one end, it could be a financial thing because, one, they need passports. You got to pay for that. And only one of our children, I think, has a passport.
Correct.
2, you got to pay for the airline tickets. So, I mean, and I know you're like getting excited. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Speaking of children, feliz cumpleaños para Caitlin. Hoy,
sí.
Sí, tiene 34 años hoy.
Sí.
Sí. And esta semana próxima es tu cumpleaños.
Yeah, my birthday is coming in a week.
7 days.
Yes. So,
and she'll be 29. I don't know how that worked, but
Of course I will. So as far as the kids coming and visiting, it's a lot of things. It's, can they get time off? Most of them have, 2 of them have jobs where vacation is not a thing.
Two of them have children.
2 of them have children, and 2 of them are probably struggling financially. And I don't think they can get away and do it. Now, we're taking baby steps. The youngest one has used all her vacation up for the year, and she's actually got some weddings and things she's going to different states
for. She's at that age.
So we're talking about her coming down probably in the new year. Next year. Probably January, February, something like that.
Hey.
And she makes enough money, she could buy her own airline ticket, but if she needs help, we'll pay for it. So, and she's got a passport, so that's okay. I tried to get our granddaughter down here, and there was talk of that. But the problem is our granddaughter's father has been MIA for at least the past year. And in order for a child of shared custody to get a passport, both parents have to sign an affidavit, I think it is, agreeing to it. Well, they don't even know where he is.
Makes it difficult.
So that makes it hard. And it's a good law to have, because you don't want a parent taking a kid away from another parent, that kind of thing. But it's complicated. And I mean, our daughter looked into it, and it was just like, we don't know where he is. We haven't heard from him in a year. I'm like, great. So instead,
we're going north.
We're going north and taking
September.
her to the beach instead. That's what we're going to do.
And then we'll see 2 of the other daughters. So yes. It's like, okay.
It'll work out. I've reached the point where even moderate alcohol consumption hurts a few hours later. Yeah.
I'm still celebrating last night.
Yeah, the Canes won.
Boom.
Game 1, second round.
5 down, 9 to go, and they'll be raising the cup.
Woo! Hey there. And Terry, and let's see. Wait. You're all healed up.
All right.
All right. That's good.
That mean you're back on the course?
Even the hand.
Because that's a tough thing when you got a hand injury and a knee injury, and then you want to play golf because it does take both.
Yes. How did you know, Sleepy Joe? Yes, because there's a condo and it's halfway between the two. And yeah, we decided to stay there because it was really hard to find what we needed. I mean, we want a king bed, number one. That's a big one. We have tried to do queen, but what a lot of people don't realize is even a queen bed in Mexico isn't as big as a queen bed in the United States.
No.
And as I've said before, 3 of us share this bed, me, him, and a full-size body pillow. It's hard. So we need the room. And if we're going to be comfortable.
I mean, the last time we did that was Puebla, and it ended up.
We ended up in separate beds.
Yeah.
In separate rooms.
Because it was like, no, this isn't working. So.
Yeah, we need a king.
And then we, have to have secure parking. We got to have a place for her to work, and da. So
and we're not spending $4,000 a month for that.
No, and so by the time you put all of our needs on there, it narrows that field down, dramatically. And then
quite a bit.
Normally, most of those places tend to be at the upper level of the price structure, and so then the price comes in and that kicks it out. So suddenly it's like, okay, we got 3, maybe 4 options.
And see, here's another. We actually removed Cabo, and that was part of the reason why.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
Did you look at San Jose del Cabo? Because it's a little less over on the San Jose side than Cabo San Lucas, but it still was not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, when we hit BCS, we're going to go to La Paz and shoot out from there because it's getting to be insanity. I mean, for some of the prices they want, I should be Sammy Hagar's next door neighbor.
Seriously.
I mean,
and thank you. Thank you for looking for us. We have an update for you. I'll share it offline after the live and give you the update. Some of our dates have changed a little bit. I'll explain.
We did some massaging.
We did some massaging. Yeah. That's a good way of describing it, I think. Oh, I will skip over that because that's a back and forth conversation going on here. And I'll skip past that too. Oh, good. Yes, go see Omar.
Oh, yeah.
You tell him the Gringos sent you.
Yeah, he's good people. And he's so good that all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're going, man, we've been here for 4 hours. And it's like, I give you a discount. Thank God, because it was like,
well, it's mezcal. Hey, Romy. Estamos bien. Gracias. It's like we just talked to you.
Yes.
And you're hearing, oh no, humidity is going to be brutal this summer. See, I thought that side of the country didn't get as much humidity. I guess we're going to learn.
Well,
we will find out.
Huatuco's on that side of the country.
Theoretically, Huatuco is technically south, but
it's on the West Coast.
I know it's on the West Coast, but it's on the West Coast that curves down.
Well, yeah.
So theoretically, it's south.
But you get that ocean currents and everything else. All the weather patterns are the same that hit PV, hit Huatuco. So, yeah.
Well, and
I don't know if it's as bad as it is Veracruz.
It's been fantastic, but past week it's been getting notably warmer. Heading to Mazatlan this Friday morning. Okay. Are we going to Mazatlan? I can't even remember anymore. That's how bad this is. I don't even know where we're going anymore.
But we're just there briefly to catch the
ferry. Oh, that's right. And you were in the Navy. You should love the water. He does not. He doesn't even go into the water. When we were in Huatuco, I pretty much had to guilt him into the water for just a brief moment so we could get some pictures and stuff. That was it. I mean, he sat on the boat while I went snorkeling.
Hey, I was enjoying having a good conversation up there, smoking my cigar. She's doing what she wants, getting to see the fish and all that and everything else. So you're happy. I'm happy. The captain was happy. It was all good. And then he and I got to sit up there while you were walking around, watch the young lady walk topless up off the beach. And, okay. He was more interested than I was, but.
You saying that because I'm sitting here?
No, because he was trying to have a conversation with her.
Oh, he was trying to have a conversation with her, or with her boobies.
I wasn't looking that hard to see whether his eyes were down or up.
Oh no! Well, he was a young man. I expect that behavior. Oh, you bought chocolate to travel size stuff and 80-cent diet soda. That's pretty awesome, though. Although I will bet money that Walmart probably has a higher price on their things than other Walmarts in Mexico.
Than the one down in Centro Sur on the way to Anivet and Orleans. Yeah, probably.
I'm sure they probably raised them a little bit for the tourists.
And we saw that in the QR, Riviera Maya. You walked in those places and we're like, whoa, it's a little more expensive here than what we had been seeing at Walmart in Merida or Progresso. They had one in Progresso.
Oh, okay. Shane, you went temporary. Okay, cool. Oh, and Landshark. Yes. Hey, it's Tom. Hi, Tom. Been since the beginning, but was in my car and not able to say hi. Thanks. Concerned with the fire. Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to make everybody freak out. It was just we could see it, we could smell it, and the ash was everywhere. But, I knew we had a row of houses between us and it. I figured.
And you don't feel as threatened living in concrete. I mean,
that is true.
I mean, it unlike a house built of 2x4s, living in concrete, you're sort of going, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Romy, look, she gave you compliments.
Gracias, mi amiga.
Okay. Oh, Nanny Vet. Hi, Annie Vet. Hola, gringas y todos.
Yeah, we were
in Arlene.
We were doing the Hurricanes watch party last night with the girls. So,
yes.
And I tell you what, I thought I was a Canes fan. If you'd have seen Arlene when the overtime goal went in for us to win, I was sitting there going, yes. And she was up and down. Yes. I'm like,
she's now a Carolina Hurricanes fan.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm trying to get caught up so we can get to
Ola up there.
Yeah, but that's Romy.
Oh, that's Romy. That's right.
And we said hello.
Okay. I forgot that she didn't have it.
Speaking of cheap living, last week Ernie said a single person should plan on $4,000 a month. Well, and that's not wrong. You first of all, you need a buffer. You need at least a 20% buffer for the fluctuation in the exchange rate. Because
life is great when it's at 21. Life sucks when it's at 16
or less.
Or less.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a huge difference. You could be talking about a rent that you could afford fine, and then 4 or 5 months later, that rent is $300 or $400 more a month because of the fluctuating exchange rate. So there's that. And then, of course, you need to make sure that you have enough money socked away for emergencies, for medical.
Yep.
Because it's cash up front.
Or at least a credit card that has a high limit that you can.
Yeah, at least $5,000 or $6,000 on a credit card, at least to start with. Depends on how bad the emergency is. My broken arm was about $5,000. And I was in a place where it was an inflated amount because it was a tourist location and it was a private hospital. I probably would have paid half that someplace else in Mexico, but where I was and what I needed at that moment in time was going to cost me $5,000. So that was a credit card,
Yeah. And
So you got that.
Thank you, Nomad, Safety Wing. We ended up paying about $250.
Yeah, we had a small deductible and they paid the rest. And by the time they paid us, the exchange rate had gotten better for us.
And so it was like, yeah, glad you guys it was one of those where emails were going to the wrong places and this and that. And once it all got, 4 months later, when it finally was, okay, we got it all approved, boom.
Yeah.
The exchange rate had gone from down here to up here. And we were like, thank you.
I mean, I hate to say it took 4 months. That was an anomaly.
Yeah, no.
Normally it takes them about a week.
Yes.
Or less. So
there were extenuating circumstances to why that took.
But you've got to realize that your medical is going to be on a reimbursement. You're going to have to pay.
Yeah, you're up front.
And get reimbursed if you have insurance to cover it. If not, you're just going to have to pay. You can absolutely expect, it just depends on where you want to live. But if you live someplace like where we are right now, since the very beginning, I have said I wanted to have our budget at less than $3,000 a month. And that's what I budgeted for us. And it's been hard because we've been doing Airbnbs.
Oh, yeah.
But if we weren't doing Airbnbs, it is totally possible in many places where we have been. And then in some other places, it's a little harder. And
the other part of it is what your lifestyle wants and needs are. I mean, if you're not looking to have the bells and whistles, it's a lot easier. If you are looking to have, I want mini splits in the bedrooms and the living rooms and things like that.
You want hot tubs. You want, your electricity runs high. Maybe potentially you got kicked off the subsidy for the electricity, so now you're paying full rate.
Do you want an oven? I mean, the normally ovens are not included in a lot of the ones that are lower prices. You tend to have the cooktop, and you want a pizza. Call Pizza Hut. I mean, it's what it is. And so, do you want a washer dryer or do you want to use lavanderia? Again, all of these things add up.
Yeah, you have to get water delivery most of the time, or you go buy, big bottles of water, get a home, and you could have a water filtration system put in. Okay, but now you've got the expense of that. You may have to be replacing filters. If you own a place, you've got to do maintenance on your tinaco and your cistern and things like that, because that water, the stuff settles in the bottom of these tanks, and you got to clean them out every now and then. Mm-hmm. If you've got a water heater, like say you got a solar water heater, well, there's pieces inside that'll corrode. Those have to be maintained. And
knowing Ernie the way we do, he's also always going to err on the higher side, because you would rather that there be a buffer than somebody who comes down and goes, you know what? I can make it on $1,250 a month. Well, you know what? You might be able to do that until you hit one tope. And that one tope, as far as is finance wise, can set the whole apple cart up. And then suddenly you're behind and you're chasing and you're trying to. And so,
let me give an example of the couple that lives in Huatuco, Cindy and Fred. When we met them in person, they actually had ended up having their rent raised where they were previously. And where they were previously was really nothing more than an efficiency apartment where everything was in one big room. So they went to this new neighborhood for lower rent. But to rent it, they agreed to refurb the place. It wasn't habitable. So they fixed it up. They paid out of their pocket to fix it up. Their rent was $550 a month. Mm-hmm. And they still only had basically a very small living room that could hold a couch and a chair and a table. They had a very small table for a place to eat, a very small kitchen that two people wouldn't be in very comfortably. And they had a very small bedroom that would hold their bed and one dresser. And then they had a small, small, small office area that was probably a closet at one point and a bathroom. and that was $550 a month in a very residential Mexican neighborhood in Huatuco. Then they had their electric bill, which wasn't horrible because they only had one mini split, and it's such a small living space.
That's all they needed.
That's all they needed. And they both get Social Security. And then something happened to Cindy. She had an accident of some kind, and she had to have some things done, and it set them back. They ended up leaving that place, and now they have a new place, and it costs them even less. So that's two people with two Social Security checks, probably together. They probably have maybe $3,000 a month that they're working with, and yet they had to get up and move again.
Now, remember, they're putting in sweat equity into these rentals because they are making them better. And I think that they're knowing them, they're probably going, look, we're going to make improvements. You give us a break on this, we'll pay for the improvements out of our pocket. And so, they both win. So, because I think they like doing the DIY, DY, whatever it is.
I think it's out of necessity.
Whatever,
really,
but
they're on a tight budget. So you're looking at an elderly couple that's earning probably about $3,000 a month total, and yet they're still looking for rent that is less than $500 a month, and they're not buying extravagant. They shop at the local mercados in the local neighborhoods. That's it, and they're just making it. So,
but I mean, what Gina said, especially with the volatility of the peso, and you need that buffer. You either need to have it, in a bank account, in a savings account, or you're going, you know what? I've got $4,000 a month coming in, and I'm spending $3,000, so I've got that 25% buffer right there.
Oh gosh. Okay. So when we get to Ajijic, dive bars, the American Legion, which it still floors me that they have an American Legion, but okay. And the cocktail bar.
Well, I know I have to go to the cigar club.
And there's a cigar club we got to go to.
And everybody has told us there is a place in the Ajijic area that serves prime rib.
I've never been a fan of it.
Well,
I'd take a filet over that any day.
I understand, but we have not had, the last time I saw prime rib on the menu was in Veracruz, and it was not prime rib.
It wasn't prime rib.
No.
Okay. I don't know. And Ruby, I feel you. Whole body heat rash, except in my case, when I was in Huatuco, it turned into a cyst. And I was like really worried, and it was painful. So that heat is no joke.
The good news is there's a doctor, right there in Centro that, bing, bang, boom, affordable.
And Vicky, see, Puerto Vallarta, the humidity is brutal. That's why we're in Querétaro. We're going to find out.
Yep.
We're going to find out. Look at this. When people mention water, there's PTSD in there somewhere. I agree with you. I'm not sure I don't know why. I don't know why you dislike it so much. Something must have happened. See, when he was a kid, he got really sick and threw up over butterscotch something. And so he can't even smell butterscotch today. It instantly makes his mouth water like he's going to vomit. I love butterscotch, but he can't even smell it.
No.
So I think it's like that. Something happened to you. Something happened at the beach, at a lakefront beach. Something happened.
Well, I'm still whole and in one piece. So,
I know, but...
And I'm still upright and on the right side of the dirt.
There is buried trauma there somewhere. Have you guys experienced earthquakes?
Uh-huh.
Yes, we have.
Uh-huh.
Twice at Huatuco.
Uh-huh.
And twice kind of in Oaxaca. The biggest one being in Oaxaca, because it was the kind that literally made the ground ripple. Like I could feel the ground come up roll and go back down again under my feet.
I think the biggest one was in Watuco because it sounded like a truck crash. I mean,
the whole building shook.
The whole building
briefly.
shook.
It was like a boom, like a pop.
And I mean,
not a rattle, like a pop.
And we were on third floor, and it was like, okay, Oaxaca.
But I mean, I actually felt the ground move under my feet.
Felt the building move in Watuco. So, but in Oaxaca, our property manager, Letty was like, "Cada dia." There's a small ripple that they feel every day, and it's like that's normal.
It's normal.
She
was instructing us on, they had an earthquake alarm and what it sounded like and things like that, and that they did a test regularly, but we never actually felt a full on, dramatic type earthquake.
No, we haven't been in one where the Airbnb disappeared into the ground or something.
It was still weird feeling the ground move.
It's different.
When it moved under my feet, like a wave, I was just like, oh my God, was that what I think it was? It was just really weird. I never felt that before, but nothing earth shattering without being punny.
Literally. Ooh,
punny.
Nice one there.
I know.
Earth shattering.
Earth shattering. Ha 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 ha. Hey, hola from Nebraska. Hi, Sheila.
Ooh, empty nest. Isn't that a good feeling?
I know, right?
Gina was like, when our last one went to college, she wasn't sure. And we were sitting on the couch about 10 days after we had dropped her off at college. And she just looked over at me and goes, "This rocks.
This is nice."
And it's like,
Yeah. Hurricanes with the Stars in the finals, I guess, but we're still rooting for Hurricanes. And my boy, Svechnikov, who I like to call Stretchnikov, he had a hat trick in one of the games. I was so excited. So,
Game 4 of the first round.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't count them. Did we win?
She cheers, she and she puts it all in, and when it's done.
Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah.
I just know we won.
Yeah.
That's all. $4K a month in Mexico. Yeah.
It is, Suzanne, but then, we were having the conversation this past week, past couple of days, actually, in putting it all together. And we actually were like, we were spending over $5,000 a month living in the U.S. And so as we started putting this all together, we were going, okay, it's gone up here, but imagine what it probably would be like if we were still in Asheville with where it's at right now. So, and again, that is living the good life. I mean, if you really want to live,
that's being pampered.
Yeah, that's
being pampered.
You can do it for a lot less.
You can do it for half that, and be comfortable, and have a decent, modest home. Or you can go all out, and you could spend $5,000-$6,000 a month if that's what you wanted to do. You would obviously not be living like most Mexicans live.
No,
but
no,
it's possible, for sure. And hey, Dave, thank you for that warning. I don't know if anyone else is having that issue or not. I just did a speed test, and it's coming up 160 up, 160 down, and about 175 up. So we should be okay. It might be regional at the moment. Oh gosh. You know what? This is so true. It's not a hockey game unless a fight breaks out. And boy, they've been chippy.
Well, the Canes and the Capitals don't like each other. The last game that they played in Raleigh, there was 142 penalty minutes in the third period alone. So it's, Oh,
I see this. So a couple people did experience a skip. So Joe and Suzanne, but then Shane is like, it's good here. I mean, who knows?
God love the internet.
Who knows? Yeah, and the concrete homes, sure thing. You know, it gets sweaty when there's fires in the area. Oh yeah, and the United States is so heavily reliant upon wood,
timber.
Yeah.
And timber is not as readily available down here, but boy, they got sand. It makes sense. Let's make concrete. And quite honestly, until we got down here, it was like, oh man, we're gonna be living in these concrete. Okay, yeah, they're a little blocky, but when it gets cool, it keeps the cool.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the heat builds up, it sort of feels like you're in a brick oven.
It holds the heat.
You're like, okay.
But they're very solid, and there's a reason why they've got buildings down here that are 500 years old. It's not an accident.
Yeah,
so and it's not, and it, yeah, you can get fires in them, obviously.
Yeah.
Anything inside them is going to burn, and
we've seen that, and they have scorch marks going out, but the skeleton of the building or house is still there, and it's the trim work, it's the doors, the windows, putting the furniture back in, painting it again. And we've seen some of the Mexican handymen and carpenters and electricians, oh, you want something here? They hit that wall, dig a trough out, put a cable in there, fill it back up, and you don't ever even know hardly that it's been done. So,
Kathy, there's a few people that are complaining about the feed skipping out, but there's equally as many people who are not having an issue. So I don't know what it is. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I just did a speed test and it was like 160 down and like 170 up. So it should be fine. Hopefully it improves. Hopefully you can hear us. I see that you can't, but hopefully it's improving. And playing the what if game is a good game to play, but it's better to be prepared and cushion. That is 100% true. And that's why when we got here, the exchange rate was in the 20 to 1. And around the time.
And rapidly going down.
Around the time we were in Huatuco?
No, by the time we got to the QR.
It had dropped down to
it was in the 16s.
Gone down to 16.
We were in Tulum. It was in the 16s.
Yeah, and we noticed it.
Oh yeah,
and we noticed
20%.
Yeah, and so you're right. And then that was when I broke my arm. We paid. Yeah.
No,
so it had gone down a lot. The exchange rate had dropped so much that we were definitely noticing it. And the result of that is you're burning through
more cash
for
the same things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized we definitely have to over budget at least 20% more than we think we need. So
just for
that alone.
Exchange.
Yeah. Sector 3, Manzana. This is where Laura and I will be staying. Sector H3. Ooh, that's where we were, right?
I think so.
That's La Crucecita, right? H3?
I think so.
I don't remember. Anyway.
We were across from Las Paredes Taqueria.
Go there.
Go to Las Paredes because, they lure you in because they blow the smell out over the street. And it's just like,
So Tom says, yes, KJ and Craig get a 20% discount in Ajijic. They only have 3 suites, but thinking about already making a reservation now for the meetup. And they're also looking at talking to people about blocking off maybe the entire hotel, various hotels in the area.
And their thought process is okay, we can use it for maybe somebody can use it for a collab and it can get featured. So all of those little things are, and if you want to see that, anybody who's not familiar, KJ and Craig's channel is Truly Remarkable Life. And those two are, first of all, they're hilarious. Saturday morning, the four of us were laughing our asses off. It was just like, so they are a comfort to watch, and they're fun. So
Texas Roadhouse, are you serious right now? What was that place we went to in Hotokia before? That's also a chain, and it was expensive.
Sonoma Grill.
Sonora Grill.
Yeah,
and that the food was good at Sonora Grill, but the music was not.
The atmosphere for the price of the dinner, service was outstanding. The food was good. Wasn't such a big fan of that everything was 2 for $1 when it came to beverages, because one of us had to drive, and they're bringing our Corregios or whatever you were getting, and here's 2 of them,
and they were big,
and
their coffee, and he doesn't drink coffee, so I ended up drinking both.
The
steaks were huge.
Yep.
We didn't even have side dishes because the steaks were enormous. We literally had steak and I think a small appetizer.
Steak and steak.
Which
and the last time we did Texas Roadhouse was in Merida. They had that one that was on the north side of town up there by the Costco and the mall.
Yeah, we did go there.
Mm-hmm.
We did. That's right.
Yep. On the way back up to Progresso, we were
there we go. Yes, we are getting a bank account in Mexico. And we don't have driver's licenses yet. We'll probably try to do that when we get to BCS. The RFC, so here's the cool thing. Depending on what bank you go to, they may or may not require you to have the biometrics done, the electronic part where they do your fingerprints and everything. The bank we're going to go to, they did not ask that of any vet. Therefore, we just have basically the generic, we call it the generic RFC. We have everything except for the biometric part. And we're not going to jump through hoops to get that done yet, because you got to make an appointment with SAT and you have to go in person to get that stuff done, obviously. So we have our number, and that's enough. And if the bank accepts that and they don't need anything else, we're good with that. We won't need the other part of that unless we were buying a car, buying a house, things like that.
Right. And quite honestly, it was the ability to have a Mexican card just in case we encounter something that, we had that occur that one time at the auto motel where, they would take a Mexican credit card, but they could not take a U.S. credit card. Don't ask me why. And Gina and I were pulling out every peso between the seats and everything else. And the poor girl was just like, go, so.
She was done. She was like, just go. Oh, yeah. You know what? I cried whenever they got on the school bus to go to kindergarten. That's when I cried. But by the time we got done, we were ready. We were ready.
And she was ready.
The older two had given us a lot of stress in their developmental years. And the younger one was the least stressful of the 3. And, and
all this gray.
It was like everything. She was just such a mellow kid anyway. And then when she was at college, it was no big deal. It was like, okay, she's at college. I knew where she was. And if she wanted to reach out, she would, message us on Facebook or something. And she still does that all these years later. So it's cool. The main goalie is back.
Yes, Freddie is back.
Yes.
And Freddie was, stopped 13 out of 14 last night. The one that he let get by him wouldn't call it a soft goal, but it was one that probably more than 50% of the time he would get.
And you want to talk about pizzas in Asheville? So like Mellow Mushroom and a couple of the Ice Bar had one.
Oh, God, yeah.
They're good, but they were expensive. We got to the point where we would just get Little Caesars. It was cheap, crappy pizza, but we liked it.
But it was $5.99, which I think now is up to $7 or $8.99. I mean, everything has
you know, so yeah, everything's gone up everywhere. It's just how much has it gone up? Oh, good. Feed's good. That's good to know, Stephanie. Thank you. Hey there from Canada. Oh, good. And I'm glad that you're not having feed issues. That's good. Feed's fine here too. Yeah, it's weird. It's flaky how this stuff happens. Thank you, Annie Vet, for that confirmation. And we do. Stephanie, we do. At the very beginning of the live feed, we gave the date. It's February 7th.
Yes.
What we don't have is the entire agenda yet. KJ and Craig are working on that, but when we Zoom called with them, that's the date that's been sent.
Yeah, there is a steering committee that's running this meetup, and that consists of KJ and Craig, the two of us, and Ernie from Retired Life Mexico No Bull.
But KJ and Craig are running with it.
They
are event planners.
Yes, they jumped on this at the end of the one we did in SMA, and they were like, "We're going to do this for you next year." And we knew that some of you guys were already starting. We'd gotten some questions about it, and so we got them together and talked with them, and they were like, we could do it that weekend. We could do that. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm hearing them talk about doing it in July. And it was like, no.
We can't
We're back to February. Pick which date we want. Do we want to do it the 7th or we want to do it the 14th? And the 14th we skipped on because of how close it was to Carnival. So
yeah, we were concerned about hotel reservations, Airbnb availability.
Right.
It's already basically peak season for foreigners and expats in the area. So
the 7th and 8th for the subscribers is going to be, the 7th is the big day. And the 8th, if you want to stick around, they are going to put together some Super Bowl watch parties. And I think there's something that's being put together because there's 3 birthdays in a row. And, it's KJ, me, and Tom, all 3 in a row. And so some type of shindig may be put together for that. So
the important thing is February the 7th.
7th.
That's the short version.
That's the short version.
Oh my gosh. And Tom's cracking open the wine. What type of wine, Tom? I like the sweet whites. Sweet whites for me. All right. And Romy, remember that Lise can help you with the RFC, bank account, senior citizen card, etc.
If you are in the Querétaro area,
that's right,
and you need any help with anything as far as whether it be real estate, medical, concierge services, things like that, Romy and Lise, we cannot recommend them enough. At my place at Querétaro.
I was looking. I don't have it, so I'm going to type it. I'm going to type it in the chat.
And not only do you get great service, the best part is you also get 2 friends, and that part is more important than anything else.
So I typed it in the chat. You will find them on Instagram and Facebook, and they have a website. Just look for My Place at Querétaro, because we love them and they're awesome and they know their stuff.
Yes, they do.
Oh, Mark's biscuits. He has no biscuits. That's the problem. He has no cushion. No cushion at all. Just bony
bone on board. And it's like, nope, got to get something underneath there to give me a little extra.
And yes, this is the plan, Joe. We want to open a Mexican bank account and get a Mexican credit card. That's the plan. It is a necessary evil. The interest rates are stupid, ridiculous on them.
Yeah,
they don't really treat credit here the same, and credit scores are not measured in the same way. But if you want to establish credit in Mexico, that's one of the easiest ways to get started.
And not only that, there are certain times where having a Mexican card would be advantageous because a lot of places you can spread things out,
Yeah, I know.
24 meses sin interesta. And you're like, hey, you going to let me play with your money for free for 2 years? Okay.
Peppo, it's possible. KJ and Craig are working on it, and they can't announce things until they have confirmations with hotel management.
I mean,
and stuff,
we
so.
just had this Saturday,
Yeah.
the talk, and KJ has reached out to a lot of the different hotels and restaurants, and it's putting all those pieces together.
Yeah.
And so, some of these places get filled up every year just because of the fact that there are returning snowbirds who vacation there or winter there every year, and it just gets filled up. So,
and let's see here. I want to get back. We are totally getting to it. We just keep shooting the breeze here. We got to stop it. That's you. That look. Don't you love it?
I ain't driving that part over there. I can
know.
stop at any time.
I know, but I'm trying to catch up with everyone. And hola, Costa Rica. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Liverpool gave you a credit card. Santander gave me 3, and Scotiabank gave me 1. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But we have to start somewhere, right? And I'm hoping that we can get it through the bank that we open our bank account with and start there. Let's see. And hola. Yesterday, the Mexican consulate in Detroit stamped a TR permit in my passport. Woo!
Yay!
Transitioning. That is awesome.
Yes.
And
the Mexico relocation guide is the great place to start.
And Romy, you are awesome. So that's why. That's why. We're not kind. We're just honest. Okay.
Don't worry, Tom. I see your comment over there. I'm looking to see if I can find an Airbnb that's going to maybe rival what we had in SMA. I've got a few that are in the running. So,
okay.
And, our normal.
So about the banks in Mexico, I don't know about any of this. I'm not worried about it because this bank that we're going to try out and we'll see. First of all, they've got to approve you. And,
yes.
it takes like 20 days or something before they can even approve you or not. So, and then once they approve you, there's a couple levels of the balance that you have to keep. And they both come with like a monthly fee or something. One of them's just better than the other. So you got to keep a balance. There's a minimum balance, and it's not really a lot.
And you have to do one type of transfer a month.
Yeah.
And
it's a little complicated.
One of the reasons that we're going to the same bank that Annie vets at is we can, here's 1,000 pesos going to you. And then she turns around, sends 1,000 pesos back to us. She gets her 1. We get our 1. Bank's happy. Okay, that works.
Okay. And I'm having Arizona Sandia. So.
Hey, yours ends in NA and mine ends in NA.
And I don't like watermelon, but I like this tea. Go figure. I mean, I don't like artificial watermelon flavor. I don't like it. I don't like the candy or anything.
No, she doesn't like melon ball shooters or things like that.
No, but this tea's good. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, let's talk about this Airbnb. So we made some changes.
I just want to go on record.
We made some changes to our travel schedule. As we are approaching the end of our stay here, I'm already getting freaking anxiety. And we're not even there yet. It's almost 2 months away. And I'm already like, argh.
And we're going to be gone for 2 weeks of that.
Yeah. The issue is the hardest part of doing what we do. The hardest part of doing what we do is packing that damn car and then unpacking it. And we have been stuck in situations where we can't get a place that's on ground level to the parking
or have a parking spot that is close to the front door.
Like you're in a condo complex and you got to walk like a block and a half to get to your apartment or something.
And then up 2 flights of stairs.
It's a lot of stuff to carry. And some of the stuff is not light.
And we're not getting younger.
And it's like the more we do it, the more tired we get doing it. There's also the fact that the roof bag on the top of the car, I feel like we're just a target. We are a Target. Look, world, everything we own is inside and on top of this car. Take it from us now.
Well,
You know,
not only that, it's the whole. I mean, every time we travel, the stress level starts when we're packing the car. Because,
oh God, yes.
Because, once I get the insides packed, then I can look over and I go, this is all the stuff we have left. And I know how big that roof bag is. And it's like, this isn't going to happen. And, no, we can make it happen. And invariably it leads to tension between the two of us because it's stress. And
it's stressful.
And then it's here I am 64 years old, half the time got one foot on the door, the frame of the interior of the car, the other up on, another thing. And I'm up there trying to put stuff up. And then she's worried about me busting my ass coming
falling
down.
and getting hurt. And yeah, I mean, it's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't think of a really good analogy to this, but the newness is worn off and it's not fun anymore when it comes to packing this car. And I kept thinking there's got to be a way where we can reduce the packing.
15 times here in Mexico.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the times we did it in the U.S., which included every time we had to stop at a hotel on the way down because we didn't dare leave the roof bag.
Oh, no, because we would have to unpack. Yeah, so we look for auto motels so we can pull in.
Well, not in the U.S.
No.
But so every time we did it in the U.S., we had to undo the roof bag, take all that shit into the room.
Yeah.
And then get up in the morning, put it back in there, and
it's a lot of work.
And
it's very stressful. So the whole point of this is, I said, there's got to be a way we can continue to do this and not take all our stuff with us. What can we do? Can we maybe leave it with some friends? Can we, if we do
that's a big imposition.
I know.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can maybe store it in like self-storage, and are they secure here in Mexico? Don't know. We don't have that many more places to go to. And we don't have to take everything we own with us when we go. If we could cut that in half, it would be so much easier. So that's what we started looking at. And we found a solution to that. And we're working on this. So what we ended up doing is we're like, okay, we don't have to pack everything. And we certainly don't have to stay 2 or 3 months in each place. We can certainly reduce that to a 1 month stay.
And one of the reasons for the 2 or 3 month stays was to give us time to recover from the packing and unpacking, because a lot of times that occurred in the same day. Because it's not like we could go out, Friday and start packing. There are a few instances we could where we had a gated, driveway area that it was only our car.
Yeah.
And so, then
we had extra time.
Oaxaca, I was able to actually go in and probably put 75% of the stuff in there on Friday so that it was a whole lot easier come Saturday morning. We only had to do the one. But, Huatulco, it was all the way, it was out of eyesight. It was in a public parking lot.
Yeah.
So, that means first thing in the morning, all that stuff's got to go out.
It's all got to be packed.
All got to be packed.
Somebody's got to stand with the car while another person moves it. Anyway, the whole point is we decided.
And then unpack it.
We don't need to have 2 and 3 month stays to finish this trip. If we only take what we need, like normal people do, we could do a 1 month stay and it won't be as stressful. It won't be as hard. We won't be a Target. We won't have to unpack everything on the way. Then that's what we're going to do. So we were massaging dates, and that's where this Airbnb story comes in. So I ask the hosts first if they are okay with us reducing our stay in San Luis Potosi. We actually took that from 3 months to 2 months because it's so close. I feel a sense of responsibility having rented or reserved this so many months out that it's been off the market for the hosts.
They missed the opportunity.
They missed the opportunity to get another guest. And I'm like, okay, I don't want them to totally get screwed over. So I talked to the host in San Luis Potosi, and they were fine with us reducing it to 2 months. Okay. So I do. And what Airbnb does is they literally treat it like it's an entire new transaction. Yeah, you still got the same reservation number as far as I know, and it's still there, but they treat the reservation, the amount you pay and everything, like it's a whole new transaction. So if the rates have changed, doesn't matter if your start date is still what it was. If the rates have changed between the time you reserved it and the time you're making your change, they charge you the difference in some ways. So San Luis Potosi.
Folks, I will guarantee you,
all right,
if it went the other way, that the rates went down, there ain't going to be no refund in your, coming back to you.
Okay.
No.
So when we make these reservations, because it's more than 4 weeks, we have to pay the whole first month upfront, 100% at the time we did these. So I've already paid for the first month. And all I'm doing now is taking month 2 and month 3 and reducing it to just a month 2. So San Luis Potosi wasn't as bad. I did that. I took 1 month off. They charged me an additional $7 for that first month. I don't know why, but my assumption is because the rate changed. Okay. So now I go on to the Ajijic reservation. That was a 2-month one. And that's far enough out that I didn't feel bad about reducing that one.
No.
I talked to the host. I said, our plans have changed. Would it be okay if I take this down to 5 weeks? They're like, yeah. So I do. I take it from, I think it was actually 9 weeks down to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we already paid for the first month now, remember. They charged us an additional $350 for that reservation.
Because they want their fees for the missing 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. So suddenly,
Airbnb is going to take their money.
They don't care.
One way or another.
And then this place we had here, that was another example as it happened. We had it, and I don't want our host to get in trouble for this, so I'm not going to say.
I wasn't even going to go there.
But I'm just going to say that we went from we reduced it from like a 6 or 7 month reservation to 2 months at a monthly rate. The host did not change the rate, and Airbnb charged us like an additional $900. And we had already paid for those first 2 months. I mean, we were done.
Yep.
And they charged us an additional $900.
And then tried to blame it on the host.
And then they tried to blame it on the host, and it wasn't the host. So they will do that. You change your reservation, and suddenly the amount that you owe them is all changing.
Now,
yeah.
Just when you think, okay, we sort of self-inflicted these on ourselves because we did change the dates and everything. We're sitting here this past Sunday morning. And of course, we're going up to Michigan for my family reunion, see her sister.
Yeah.
Going to spend 2 weeks, 10 days in Michigan, almost 9, whatever. And then, spend a few days with my mom and come home. Sunday morning, Airbnb sends an email. Your stay has been canceled.
No explanation. Nothing from the host.
We'll help you find another, which is bull. They will not help.
They do not help.
And so suddenly we're sitting here going, crap. And where we're going is not a big town. Her sister lives in a fairly small town.
It's a little.
And there may have been 5 or 6 Airbnbs in the entire area.
Yeah.
Without having to go north up towards the South Detroit area or go south down to, the Monroe area.
Kind of wanted to be close to her because I have to work during the day, which means we have the evenings to spend time with her.
Right.
So I wanted to be a reasonably easy drive to her house. Okay, so when a host cancels your reservation, this is something that really pisses me off. You got to pay when you make the reservation. I think I've learned since that time that the host doesn't see that money either.
No.
Airbnb's sitting on that money and they're making interest on that money. So Airbnb takes your money and they sit on it. The host doesn't get the money until you stay.
Airbnb is playing one of the greatest shell games with money because you book it, and we have booked it a year in advance. And so they have sat on, a considerable amount of money from us for a year before they've had to.
Let me take this off.
Shell it out. And so, they're this isn't a game of all of this. This is a game about how much money can we put into our pocket that we can make interest on, because no matter what, we're going to make money. They're going to make it off of the host.
Yep.
And they're going to make it off of the guest.
Oh, even our host hates them.
Yeah.
It's like they're a necessary evil for having rentals and stuff. But okay, so this gets canceled. And of course, at the time we made the reservation, that was an immediate payment, immediately deducted off our credit card, right? No, when they refund you, and I checked, they did refund the full amount, which means they're somehow going to penalize their host.
Oh, you know that.
They're going to penalize their host in some way for this. There'll be a fee or something the host is responsible for now, because Airbnb is going to want their money.
Anytime you change something, Airbnb is making $1 somewhere.
So they said Airbnb sends the message that it's canceled and that we will see the refund in 3 to 4 business days. Why the hell do I have to wait 3 or 4 business days when I have to make the immediate payment at the time of reservation? And then they sit on that money all that time.
Again.
But we did get it. It hit the bank today. What is today? Thursday? Wednesday? I don't even know what day it is.
We do our live.
So it's been 3 days and it did hit the bank today. But I mean, that's crap because now they're like, we'll help you make another reservation. Well, what if that money that I had on that canceled reservation was the only money that I had to do this with? Now I have to wait.
Now I got to wait for you.
Now I got to wait for you to give me back my money.
The money. And so she's on one sofa. I'm on the other sofa. And we're both cruising through Airbnbs going, oh, what about this one? No. What about this one? No. And finally,
we found an acceptable one, although it is going to cost us an additional $300 more than what the other one did. And then it occurs about 5 hours after the cancellation that our host finally sends a message apologizing for the cancellation, that they are selling the property.
Okay, I get that.
I understand that. What I don't like about it, though, is that they waited 5 hours after canceling it to tell us that. Why don't you just send me a message and say, I'm sorry, I have to cancel this and I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
And just tell us that, instead of, because I was pissed off because this is not the first time that a host has done this and said nothing.
No, it got to the point where she started doing data and start looking at statistics. How many Airbnbs have we rented in Mexico? How many
of them?
U.S. And the U.S. And how many of them have been canceled on us?
20%. 20% of the reservations we've made have been canceled by hosts. And this particular host was the only one who ever contacted us. And it took 5 hours to do it.
Well, and it took an email from you.
I didn't email her.
Oh, okay.
No, I just bitched.
No, I thought you bitched. Oh, okay. So you bitched to Airbnb and they probably.
I didn't bitch at Airbnb either. I just bitched.
Oh, well, I knew that. I knew that part.
There was no point. I don't engage with them unless it's like our experience in Campeche where it was just filthy.
Oh.
I don't engage with them. So, that's the thing. And it's expensive. Guys, we looked at a place recently that ended up, sometimes what happens is places are double listed. They'll be listed on Airbnb and they'll be listed on Vrbo.
Mm-hmm.
They may be listed on Airbnb and they may also be on Facebook Marketplace. They may be on Airbnb and they may be on a rental site like Muebles. And what you'll notice, and it firmly verified what we already knew from the hosts. Airbnb charges double. It's double the rate. It is double the rate that the rent would be. So consider that. Consider the fact that you could live in Mexico and just pay rent, and it might only cost you $1,000 a month, but it will cost you $2,000 a month if it's an Airbnb.
Oh yeah,
for sure, sure, yeah. And so once again, I was a little miffed. I was miffed at the inconvenience of getting canceled. I was miffed at the fact that they send these stupid, worthless emails out about how they're going to help us. But what are you going to do? Are you going to put me 2.5 hours away from my sister's house? That's not helping me. And oh, wait, I can't make another reservation if I don't have the money because you're holding my money for the next 3 days as well. And then there is I have to make changes to some of our reservations. I'm not canceling. I'm just changing the extent of the stay. But Airbnb is going to charge me more money for that.
Well, yeah.
Like, why? You're getting your money. You're already double what rent would be. Because
they can. That's all. That's all that matters to them.
So,
they don't. I mean, there are some areas where the customer service from Airbnb has gotten better because they're trying to emulate Vrbo. They're not requiring, in some of the instances now, they are not requiring a full 1 month deposit at the time. They will take half, and then later on, as it gets closer, they will require the other half because, oh, that's right, Vrbo does that.
Vrbo does that. They take 50% down and 50% when you get close to your reservation. So Airbnb has started to do that now. The other thing, too, is that, and this was really one of my biggest complaints, Airbnb will now show you all the hidden expenses and fees while you're looking at properties.
Which did not used to be the case. You could go, oh, this one's going to be $2,100 a month, boom, 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 boom. And then you go book and it's $2,800 a month. And you're going,
what the heck?
That's a 33% increase.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, cleaning fees, taxes,
Now they show you all the fees up front, which is an improvement. Vrbo was kind of sort of half doing that. What Vrbo doesn't show you is the taxes, but they do show you the total price for the rental. They just don't show you the taxes, and the taxes really aren't typically a lot. It depends on where you're going. So Airbnb, again, trying to emulate Vrbo. I looked, this property that we had to rebook in Michigan was on both platforms. And initially it looked like it was $20 cheaper with Vrbo until I saw what the taxes were going to be. And then it ended up being $20 cheaper on Airbnb. So in some ways, Airbnb is trying. They are trying to do better with transparency. But I got to tell you, I mean, once you make that booking, they're behind the scenes swindling that they do.
They are not transparent when it comes to trying to take your damn money.
Mm-mm.
I mean, and that's what it is, because we've had that occur several times, and their story changes with each conversation with them. First, it's, oh, well, it's because of this. And they will ride that until you go,
Oh, no.
And then it's, oh, well, it's now because of this. And it's like, well, hold on. If it was because of this, why didn't you say that at the beginning? Because, oh, that's right. You're just going to keep spinning this shit until the people get tired and you just go.
No, see, when I went head to head with them, they weren't expecting me to hang on like a dog on a stake. I wouldn't let it go. The one time that I had to deal with the extra $900 they took from us when I altered the reservation. And I wouldn't let it go. And the stories, like you said, they kept changing. I kept pushing back and saying, with logic, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, then why this? And I even came up with the entire scenario of how this happened, because they kept trying to say that the rate had changed. I said, how does the rate change? Well, you had this kind of stay and you get a discount when it's this kind of stay. And I'm like,
we'd already been here.
I said, we've already been here for 8 weeks. The discount is 4 weeks or longer. But, you know, they knew I wasn't going to let it go. And I actually figured out that probably what happened is they probably have a glitch in their system, because when you alter your reservation, their system sees it as a new reservation. It's not looking at what you previously booked. It's not looking at how long you've already been there. It sees it as a new reservation.
You call it a glitch. I call it an intentional friggin'
Well, maybe
reach in
it
your
is.
pocket.
It may be intentional.
It's not a glitch.
So their way of
It's
handling
greed.
it, when I pointed this all out, their way of handling it was they closed my ticket and opened a new one and said, well, we've closed the other ticket because it looks like it's a duplicate of this one. Yeah, they closed my ticket with all my documentation on it. That was not a mistake. Fortunately, I kept copies of everything.
they had no clue
Yeah.
who they were up against. And it's just like, every time you do one more thing, it's like all you're doing is sticking the pit bull with a stick one more time, and then she is getting madder and madder, and she's going to chew the stick off until she's at your arm, and then it's going to be, we're either going to lose an arm or we run like hell. And finally, they went, it's time to run like hell.
Even when we stayed at that place in Campeche that we could not stay in because it was terrible, we stayed one night, and then we left the next day and stayed in an auto motel. And we sent 100+ photographs to them. And I think if the host would have fought, they probably would not have let us out of it, and they probably wouldn't have refunded us. But I think the host let it go. I think the host realized.
Well, I think when she saw the pictures, she went, "Oh my God, this is really making me look bad." Because we could have gone on and left a review because we stayed for one night.
So, I did leave a review.
I mean, but I mean, we really could have.
We could have smoked her.
I mean, we could have gone scorched earth and.
Yeah, but I think if she would have fought, if she would have pushed on that, Airbnb probably wouldn't have resolved it and given us back our money. At the same time, I literally had said to Airbnb, this place was not acceptable. I am agreeable to pay for the one single night that we stayed, but we're leaving and we're canceling the rest of this reservation. Airbnb charged us triple what one night should have cost. Again. With fees. We had fees. We had fees for a crappy reservation that we left, and they knew we were leaving.
And I will guarantee that the host got hit with a bill.
Probably.
Because again, they're going to rob from both ends, because it's all about feeding the middle.
It's just crooked. It's just crooked, and it's bad. And they're trying really hard to revamp themselves and make them more appealing and more like Verbo. But
I'd be glad when this whole thing with Airbnb, when we settle down.
We're so tired of Airbnb. So tired. And the only reason we have to do the Airbnb, as many of you already know, it's because we do these short-term stays. We can't do a lease. We can't do a lease. It has to be something that we can plan ahead, that we have the right size bed, we can put the car someplace, all these things.
And we have to do it that far in advance because of the few number of locations that fulfill all the needs. So it's sort of one of those where they've got us by the short hairs because, there's only so many places that fit that.
Oh, God. See, so let me go back and do some of these. The Clampets. Andrew, you're not wrong. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Andrew, there is no oxygen past our heads because we've squeezed every bit of air out of the back of that car because it's full of something.
Like something's hitting me in the head sometimes if it isn't packed tight, and I'm like, I got to push it back. It's tight. The whole car is packed.
And, and there's been some times where we've done the roof bag and there's still 1 or 2 bags, and Gina's gone,
that's it.
It's only a 4-hour drive, and she's putting it up there by her feet, and
it's in the front seat with me. So now I'm buried too.
It's
a lot. It's a lot, and it's gotten to the point where neither one of us has the patience for it anymore. We want to continue to do the travel. We want to see these cities that we have planned to see, but this packing and this unpacking, it's enough. And this dealing with Airbnb and all their BS, it's enough. So you were looking forward to finishing the trip, but we just had to shorten it and take a little bit of a break from hauling all this stuff all the time.
No, not take a break from hauling all the stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I don't anticipate ever having to do a full pack in the car again. That's, no.
And see the SLP packing. Oh, Lord. Going up those 40 some stairs.
49. Oh. Not that I can remember, but 49.
And it was such a small place. It was hard. I mean, we literally just piled everything into one bedroom.
And Yvette and Arlene came up to see us and spend a weekend with us. And we had a 2-bedroom place, and we couldn't even host them in the other bedroom because the other bedroom, this side of the bed, that side of the bed, and on top of the bed was covered in crap.
And all of our stuff. And all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's the version basically of the Airbnb issue. It's like, again, we've been reminded one more time that they're a bunch of thieves and there is always something hidden in the background. They're going to get their money. They will give you all kinds of reasons why they're owed this money. I would like to know how. I would like to know how and why. If I take a 9-week stay, reduce it to 5 weeks, and I'm paying the 4-week or longer lower rate, how do I owe you another $300?
Because that was what their fees they were gonna make off that 9, and they're like, by damn, we're making our money.
Yeah,
we're making our money.
They basically went and took the fees that they would have got from month number 2 and charged us for that.
That's exactly.
Even though we weren't going to be there.
We aren't going to be there. But
for month number 2.
We've already accounted for that money some way, shape, or form, and you committed to it, you're paying it.
And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, and this is the honest to God truth, and I've learned this lesson from the time we dealt with the extra $800 or $900 that I got charged. You need to take screenshots or printouts of your original bill and invoice if you make a change, because they will make it disappear. As soon as you change your reservation, that original invoice is no longer available. It's now been replaced with the new invoice, and you no longer have proof of what you had.
And they have no clue who they're working with. I mean, she has it by stay, folder, this, that. It's all documented. It's all there. Airbnb can make it all disappear, and she just turns right around and goes,
"Oh, I screenshot.
Here you go.
Here it is.
Here it is.
You
can't go back and look at that file anymore? No problem. Here, let me share it with you." It's like I'm sitting down here going, I don't know who is on the other end of that phone, but you really don't want to go down that road. You're going to lose.
Well,
trust me.
Really, but they didn't lose. Because ultimately they had the final say, and there was no resolution.
I get that, but you end up showing them
that they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So really just got that off my chest, man. Airbnb. I don't know. I can't wait to be done with them. I cannot wait. And it's unfortunate that we have to use them, but we're almost done with the end of this trip. We're going to be done. What?
So you're going to tell what the plan is?
No.
Okay.
I was just discussing the fact that this is why we were massaging this. It's the travel. The travel's wearing us out when we pack. The packing is killing us.
Uh-huh.
So we're storing some of our stuff, and then we are making these trips a little shorter and a little easier to move between cities. The end. Oh, Lord, guys, I know that was a long one. I'm so sorry. But that was the whole Airbnb thing. I honestly believe if you're going to use Airbnb, just make sure that you download and save every invoice or screenshot it, whatever you need to do. And make sure you know where every fee is on each month. If you're doing more than 1 month, know what the fees are, because if you make changes, that invoice will disappear and you will never get it back, and they'll replace it with their new invoice, and you'll have these fees like, what is this extra money you're charging me for now? I'm staying less, I've already paid you, and now you're charging me more. So yeah, the end.
And they're not standing there with their hand out, they're standing there with their hand in your pocket. They're reaching in.
Mm-hmm. And so here's a really good message from Annie regarding Mexican banking. Yeah, it's really just a place to have a little bit of money, and like she said, make transactions easier.
Yeah, that's all we're looking at. I mean, it's not like we're ditching Schwab and everything's now going into no. This is just the convenience of having a place to park a little bit of pesos, and have that available. And when we're traveling, going from town to town, okay, if we need it, here's a Mexican credit card. Boom.
Yeah, because some places will only take Mexican credit cards or debit cards. Like there's this airline here in Mexico that occasionally they run a special where you can buy unlimited flights
for a year
for a really, really good price.
Yeah.
But you can't use anything but a Mexican bank card to pay for it. So things like that. Or if we went to the auto motel, for example, like you were saying, and they couldn't take our cards. So, and then, there are things that are associated with having bank accounts in Mexico that if you were a citizen and you lived here, probably not a big deal. But when you are a resident, there is a limit on how much money can be deposited in any single month in your account before the bank notifies SAT.
Yep.
And then, and now you're talking about
you're opening up a whole nother can of food,
which we don't even totally understand yet, and we don't want to be in that ballpark yet. I think it's more than 15,000 pesos a month.
I don't know.
So I'm not really sure.
We haven't had to breach that subject.
No, but I do know that it involves now you're like they're reporting your income, and you have to show
it's sort of like doing
sources of the income.
It's sort of like doing $10,000 transactions in the U.S.
Yeah,
must be reported to the federal government.
Right. So we don't plan on putting that much in the bank. We're just doing small things. Let's see, KJ said there are some storage units toward Guadalajara. If looking for more options, you might ask him. Yeah, maybe, but I mean that means now we have to drive and pack it up and haul that over there.
And the other thing is depending upon the state that you're in, there are some states that if you are not a Mexican citizen, you can't get a storage unit.
That is true.
That is true. You can't just go, oh, here, I'm a permanent resident. And they go, I don't care.
And we have friends here who will help watch our things for us and things like that. And that's fine. We just don't want to carry everything with us anymore. We just take what we need for the length of stay that we're going. I mean, I would say half of our stuff doesn't have to go. Maybe more than half.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
And Andrew,
trust me.
Not a fan of Airbnb. No, man. There are a bunch of crooks. So here's a question. Hello, Deborah. I get Social Security. I work remotely for a US based company. Can I still qualify for residency? If yes, yes. Okay. I work remotely as well. And here's a little secret. I didn't have a job at the time we applied. I didn't have a job. Sometimes some consulates will ask you
for a
letter from your employer. And I basically said, I'm a contractor. I get work when I apply for a contract. The only thing they asked me at the Kansas City consulate was, where do you find your contracts? And I told them, I find them on LinkedIn and other sites.
The biggest thing here, Deborah, is twofold. Number one, if your company is totally great with you continuing to work for them from Mexico and they can provide that letter, that cuts half of the problem out right there, because you can walk in and go, this is what's coming into my bank account every month because of this company. Here's my letter that says they have no problem with me, continuing to be in their employment while I'm in Mexico.
Yep.
And so now my number, and provided that your financial numbers match up with that particular consulate's requirements, it should be easy peasy. If everything meets all, if all the boxes get checked, and just make sure that your financials might have to have a signature. So,
but
check.
Ultimately,
it's each consulate.
It's the consulate. Like he said, it depends on what they want. And like I said, I wasn't even employed when we had our appointment. My employer in the United States was not going to allow me to continue to work for them if we moved here.
She didn't want to anyway.
And I didn't want to anyway. I couldn't stand them. I was just doing it to make a little extra money before we left.
We won't name them healthcare assholes, but
So I wasn't even employed at the time. And in theory, I was a contractor. I was interviewing for contracts. And that's what I told them. I'm a contractor. And that's all they wanted to know is where I got my contracts.
And I think, honestly, the attitude that you walk in there with makes all the difference in the world. Because, we walked in there and we weren't, why are you moving? Oh, we absolutely love Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And so, she got a different interview than I did.
I got the income interview.
She got the income interview, and they're looking at me going, oh, you're the dependent. I'm like, well, it's dependent upon what you ask me. But anyway, it was, so why are you leaving the U.S.? Well, not leaving the U.S. I'm going to Mexico. And so I wasn't going to trash the U.S. I was going to praise Mexico because we really enjoy our time down here. And so I wanted to show them that, we're positive people. I'm not looking at it from a negative point of view. I'm looking at it from the positive point of view. Are there things that were wrong here in the U.S.? Yeah. Are there things that are wrong here in Mexico? Yes. But you know what? I like the attitude here a lot better than the attitude over there. And so, but walking in there with a sunny disposition and going, hey, can you help me make this happen instead of the make this happen?
Yeah, no, that's true. It goes a long way. And so whenever they talked to me, it really was more about how do I find my contracts, and they asked me a little bit about why I want to go to Mexico, but they didn't hit him with those other questions like they hit me. And that's because I was the primary income and they knew that. So
yeah,
that's it. All right.
She's a talent on the face. Whatever.
Yeah. Yes, Eric, we have tried Verbo on a couple occasions. I don't have anything negative to say about Verbo. In fact, side by side before Airbnb started to try to emulate Verbo, we already preferred Verbo, like a lot of people did, which is probably why Airbnb is trying to emulate.
I mean, Pueblo, we same exact property.
Yeah. Costs less on Verbo.
Costs less on Verbo, and we only had to put 50% down to reserve it. Hello.
Fully refundable up until a month before we arrived. Not fully refundable at the time on Airbnb. Their policy was if you're doing a multi-month stay, that first month that reserves it was not refundable.
Yeah, the biggest issue, Eric, to be honest, is Airbnb has an access to a whole lot more properties than Verbo does. And with our specific set of criteria to try and find it, when we're starting with the bigger pile, the odds of us coming out of it with 10 or 15 properties that we can look at and go, yeah, this might work. For, looking at Verbo, and they start out with 50 and we may get 2. And
and so Suzanne, it is something. And I've seen a lot of other YouTubers and creators kind of doing similar videos where they're just like, I'm done with Airbnb.
Now,
it's easy to say that, though, if you're in our situation, it's hard. It's hard to get places without having to utilize something like that.
I was just fixing to say that, we're sitting here and busting on Airbnb, but we would not have been able to be in our 16th location without Airbnb. So, did it cost us more? Yes. But on a whole, we have met some of the most fantastic hosts, made great friends.
Oh, we have excellent reviews.
But I'm not even worried about the review. I'm talking about personally. We have made friends with people, and that has been something that, because of doing it this way, I wouldn't change for anything. Well, I may change it if it was cut in half in price. But other than that, no, it was, we wouldn't be this far into the journey without Airbnb. So
that is true. Tom, I don't remember who came up with our slogan. Was it me? Did I come up with all of it?
I came up with the Gringos are us. And then when we were putting it on, we're sitting there and we were getting ready to go do the interview with Ernie. And we're like, Gringos are us got us halfway there. And we were sort of tossing it out of, we need the catchphrase underneath that. And we were bantering back and forth from one side of the couch to the other, and tossing this. Oh, hell no! What are you thinking? Where'd that come from? And then all of a sudden it was, we're doing it. You can too.
Okay,
damn. Works. Done.
It's done. Oh, Jenny. Oh, let's see. I kind of figured this was the case. You had to cancel a reservation. And you had to pay a fee for that. You had to pay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so they get their fees no matter what.
They either
take the fees off us or they take the fees off the host.
Yep. They're getting paid.
They're getting paid. And gosh, just, what is that?
It's called a table, baby. That shakes the whole.
I don't know. I was kicking something. Okay. Oh, Mark is cracking me up, mouthing all those words.
No, when they were having problems with the syncing, I was doing that. Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Or were you like saying bad words?
Well, you don't know what I was saying. That's all up here.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous place to reside.
All the stuff you're describing is part of what I'm hoping to escape from in the U.S. Yeah.
I mean, that's the honestly the beauty of it down here, Jesse, and it's 100% what you want to make it. Because we have met some miserable gringos who refuse to check the shit at the border, and they bring the angst and the anger and everything else with them, and then they want to talk about it with everybody else.
Like I don't want to.
It's like,
I don't want to talk about your politics.
No.
I don't want to talk about anything that I left behind. I left it behind. I left it behind.
Yeah, for a reason.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to negotiate about
it. And adopting and adapting to the Mexican way of life, if you are a friend, if you have a Mexican friend, their friendship is more important than who you voted for.
Yeah.
They may look at Jose over there and go, he's an asshole, whatever. But he voted for this person. But you, mi amigo, and so guess what? That's the important part to
Doesn't
them.
that just totally contradict what you just said?
No, because they if you are their friend.
Oh, a friend.
If you are a friend, that friendship overrides everything.
It reminds me of when Juanjo couldn't stand his neighbor because his neighbor's dog or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, I have never heard that. And he's a Mexican national. And he was complaining about his neighbor and his neighbor's dog.
I mean, and it's just, you have to remember that once you are a friend, that friendship is more important to them than who the hell you voted for.
Look, and Tom's right. That car we preserved his sunglasses. I thought they were Mark's. I said to Mark, hey, I found these sunglasses back here. You missing a pair? And he's like, no, those are Tom's.
And they went through all those packings.
Oh my God. And they didn't get hurt.
I know.
Hey, hola, Wilfredo.
Well, it's like Jeff Foxworthy says, can't lose a pair of cheapos,
Okay, so is renting a storage unit an option?
Not here.
In Querétaro?
You have to be a Mexican
in
citizen.
Querétaro.
Yes.
I mean, there's always a chance that we could buy a storage shed at Home Depot or something like that and put some things in there. Or we could store some things with a friend. We just don't want to take up space at people's houses and make it inconvenient for them and things like that. We're still investigating, but there are things we can do. And, it's in development. It's moving all the time. It's reshaping and changing all the time. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm just popping the top on a beer.
Making faces. Annie Vet, 58 viewers, only 21 thumbs. Oh, thank you, Annie. Oh, that's so funny. You're all going to need a CFE bill in your name as well as your residency cards. Telmex bill will also work. I don't believe it has to be in your name. I think it just has to be a bill. And I've heard that from multiple people that, maybe they're staying someplace and the bill's in their landlord's name. Well, no. And they just take the bill with them. It's the address where they live.
That happened with Annie Vet because the bill's in Arlene's name.
That's true.
Because they put everything in Arlene's name, but she walked in with the bill and
and it probably
and their wives. So
yeah, but
Annie Vet can be out with me. You can go in with Arlene. Arlene can claim she's got two wives, and we can do a whole episode of Sister Wives.
And it just sort of depends on the bank too. Some of them are very, very strict on what they do, and some of them aren't. So we'll just find out. No. I mean, Annie just got hers, so I'm just going to go to the same bank.
No, she was nice enough to do a trial run.
Yeah,
so
we're going to go to the same bank she went to, and we'll try it. And yes, I thought so. I thought I saw 15,000 per month somewhere, and I was kind of looking. Yes, Andrew, the plan has changed. We're still going to the same places. We're just not going to go as long, and we're not going to carry as much with us.
When our asses were sitting on the couch in Asheville, North Carolina, and we're going, okay, we got 4 years. There were 27 cities, and it took us 2 days to work out this whole, to put it all together as how we were going to do, and then we get down here and we start dealing with INM, and then it was suddenly like, you know what, we need at least 2 months to get settled and at the end. So then it went from 48 months to 46 months. So then we started, okay, hold on. A couple cities got chopped then. Then we started massaging again.
Well,
and then it was like, we're running out of gas. We need to take a break. So we're going to go to Querétaro for 7 months. So we're going to massage it yet again. And more cities. I mean, because I can tell you cities right now that were on the list that we're not going to get to. Aguas Calientes was on the original list. Nope. Guanajuato on the list. Nope. Guadalajara on the list. Nope.
But we're going to be close enough to visit.
I understand that, but these were when we were going to stay at least a month in. Acapulco, for obvious reasons. Nope. We were actually going to go to Sayulita, just north of PV, and nope. And so part of it is the ambition and the energy that we had before we started this, which was totally unrealistic. But we were, let's go.
Unrealistic. If we were,
no, it really was. But we were excited about it and ready to do it, and we never bothered to think, this is actually going to take some wear and tear on us, and it has.
I guess, but we're still completing it. We're just doing it in a different manner.
And a little bit of a different time frame. So
a little bit of a different time frame, but we're still going. And each stay is a minimum of a month. So,
but the beauty of it is we have seen a lot of Mexico, and we still have more to see, and we're going to see it. And that's
And we also have to interject the fact that we're doing a trip to the U.S. for 2 weeks. And then we're going to come back, and then we're doing another trip for basically with travel, another week. And then we're going to come back. We've got lots of other trips that just developed in addition to the Mexico trip. And then, of course, where you were going with this.
Where was I going with this?
I must have made you forget where you were going.
I was finished.
Were you?
Yeah.
He was finished. That's how tired we are.
No, I was. I said we've seen a lot of Mexico, and we still got a little bit more to do.
Okay. Yeah, so, a lot of people that we've met here actually said that we've seen more of Mexico than they have, and they were born here.
Oh, I wouldn't change any of it.
No, I enjoyed it. We've learned a lot.
And there isn't a single location that I went, nope.
No, everything had positives and pluses so far. We're not done with that yet. We still have 5 or 6 to do. So, Joe, this is a really good idea. And I considered this because I also have a Wise card. And I thought, I could drop $1,000 or whatever it is every month. And then we'll just use it locally and buy groceries or something like that.
Well,
or whatever we need it for.
Whichever way. I mean, putting the points on the credit card and then, 6 to 1, half dozen the other.
I know. All right. So, yes, this is a twist. Suzanne, it is a twist. But we've had a couple twists.
Perhaps ending earlier? No. I mean, we still, we are going to be going to SLP just like we planned. We are going to be going to Ajijic just like we planned. We're going to be going to Manzanillo just like we planned. Puerto Vallarta. We are basically scrapping Mazatlan and going to go straight over to La Paz. I know a lot of people really like Mazatlan. The fact that it's in the state of Sinaloa gives both of us pause. I mean, it's like
a little bit. There's been an uptick in state border activity. In Pátzcuaro recently, there was like a 30-minute shootout between the police and cartel, all stemming from rival cartel attacking each other. But there was 30 minutes of gunfire in Pátzcuaro one morning and left 5 dead police. And that's like these are areas that are tourist driven. like Pátzcuaro is a tourist location, and yet here you are in that area and along that state border, they have had an increase in activity and things, and we don't need to put ourselves in the middle of that.
No.
So there you go. And I wanted to go to Pátzcuaro, to be honest, but
and
someday maybe.
Nobody's ever saying that,
right.
At the end of 4 years, the wanderlust is totally just going to go. I'm done, though. Once I plant my ass on a couch and go, we're home. It may be requiring a little dynamite for a little bit to get money off of it, but it can't be done.
And then we always have the option at that time of, if we have planted ourselves someplace, we can take buses to visit places. No driving for you, no stress, not carrying a bunch of stuff with us, and we can just go places.
No,
by bus.
Weekend, 4 or 5 day trips. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And dude, you got cards all over the place, Joe. And
the Mesa scene in Terrace, it's like, you know what, if you're going to give me your money for free for 2 years. Okay.
For sure. And of course, and you're right also about Mercado Libre. I've seen this offer. And I've seen offers at other sites too. Like I've even seen them offer to allow people to buy concert tickets and make payments, and amusement parks, like over there.
Well, that reminds me that, there's some locations in the U.S. now that Taco Bell on DoorDash, you can make payments. Tell you how bad the inflation is that you got to make payments to get Taco Bell. Ouch.
Goodness. Well, tremendous adventure you have shared with us. Oh, but we're not done.
Oh, we're not done.
We're not done. Oh, God. Mark had to say sister wives. I asked the lady at the bank if Gina can use the same bill, and she said Gina can use the CFE bill, even though it is on Annie Vet's name. All right. Good to know. And it wouldn't matter whose name it is, as long as the address on the bill is the address that you add for your bank account. Boom. Works for me.
And since now our official address is we live with Annie Vet and Arlene.
Sí, amigos, los quiero.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good night, Cindy. I'm sure she's probably already gone.
Yeah, everybody. I know. We've been talking, and it's been 2.5 hours. So let's see. Next question here. So you are doing a half marathon instead of a full.
3/4.
How does that affect the decision timeline? Well, let's take a look here.
It doesn't.
Well, it could.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I really don't think it, because you look at you guys can't see this, but we're looking at the places left to visit, and
so
the decision will still be sometime next summer.
What we have left is another trip to San Luis Potosí, because we really did like it a lot. And then we have Ajijic area, Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan.
No, not Mazatlan, La Paz.
Oh, are we taking Mazatlan off?
Yeah, don't even worry about fixing it right now. But yes, all we're doing is spending the night there to catch the ferry.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm so sorry. He's right. We were just staying the night to catch the ferry. That's the only reason why it's on there. I need to fix that. And then La Paz. Yeah.
I know, but it'll be next summer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more places.
Well, right. So, but it'll still be, because there's going to be breaks. So
I love this. That makes me laugh. Typical guy. I am finished.
Hey, I got mine.
Oh, so funny. My wife and I enjoy watching you guys and your adventures. This will be us in 2 years. Oh, and I know that there's more coming because you were writing it. It's down here. Let's come down here. We are thinking to rent a place in Bucieres and travel Mexico by air.
I tell you what, if Volaris runs one of their specials, you cannot beat it.
No.
If memory serves me right, we were in Merida the last time they did that, and it was $600, and you basically got an unlimited flights for a year.
And Romy offers this. There are storage units on the highway. Just a family member that has that business.
Oh.
So there you go.
Well,
there's ways around it.
Romy knows everybody.
There's ways around it, and Romy knows everything. And CFE doesn't have to be in your name. I've been here 40 years. I've seen this a lot, Romy. I've seen lots of people say that sometimes they rent a place and it's in the landlord's name and it still works for them to get services and things.
Or Airbnb hosts. I mean, people use Airbnbs for doing things officially as well.
And there you go. The Airbnb stuff is a hot mess. It has been. And you know what? It didn't start out totally that bad, although I was already leery because I did have.
What do you mean it didn't start out that bad? Our very first place got canceled 3 weeks before we entered Mexico.
That's true. And I was not feeling comfortable with Airbnb in the first place. I was worried about stuff like that because I had trip cancel on me.
And then the second place in Mexico, after we've already had our first one cancel on us, is like, let's book you for a weekend.
Oh God, yes.
And both of us are going, what?
Yeah, we had never had somebody say that to us. And what they really wanted to do is they wanted us to pay them off platform because Airbnb was keeping half the money.
And Marisol was great. We had a great host, great stay, everything else. So the very first two here in Mexico were like, oh boy.
Yeah. What are we in for now?
Yes. And so, but quite honestly, we've had the overwhelming majority have been outstanding.
80%.
Well, it's still the overwhelming majority.
It is.
Yeah, I mean,
it is. But I don't think that a 20% cancellation rate is a good thing to brag about.
No, I don't think that's a high. I think that's way too high. But I look at the friends we've gotten.
Okay. So we'll catch you up real quick. We are super, super tired of packing and unpacking our car because we got a lot of stuff and it's really heavy and it causes a lot of stress right before, during, and right after making a move. So we want to
which makes for a shitty 4, 6, or 8 hours in the car because we are stressed before we even get into the car, and now it's navigate, drive,
stress,
and then you were supposed to take that exit because GPS was slow in figuring out how the hell to say it in Spanish. And so, I'm 200 feet past the exit, and it's not her fault because she didn't get the information in time, but it's like, geez, and sometimes here in Mexico, it can be a haul before you find a place to make a returno. And, and now you're coming back at it from a totally different side of the road. And does it work this way? Do you have to go somewhere down and make a returno and hope you get it right? I mean, so that whole day sucks. I mean, it just sucks.
Okay, the short version. It stresses us out to pack the car. It's a lot of stuff to pack. It's really heavy. And it stresses us out to have to unpack it. It stresses us out that we have this fully packed car and a roof bag, and we're a moving target down the highway in places that we've never been before and we're unfamiliar with when it comes to safety and things like that. So we've decided that we're going to keep half our stuff someplace, and we're going to only take what we need for 1 month stays in the last 5 places that we're going to. And so we can finish the tour, we can see these places, still get a good 4 weeks in the area to get familiar with it and see if we like it, but eliminate a lot of that stress.
And make the packing something that now can be done in an hour instead of a 3 to 4 hour marathon pack.
Yeah.
And then we got to do that, then drive, and then do a 2 hour unpack. It makes for long days.
Yeah, it really does. This should make the end a little easier for us as we're worn out. Let's just be honest. We're tired. It's tiring. And I'm especially tired because I'm
so tired.
I know, because I'm working. I'm so tired.
I'm tired of
being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Name that movie. Anyway, yeah, it's about the stress. So we're eliminating as much of that stress as we can.
That was the whole goal to move down here, was to minimize the stress.
The packing. It's the packing and the unpacking. That's what it is.
We're good. We're good. And both of us walk into that day going,
I mean,
this,
I'm already getting anxious about it, and it's 2 months away. So that's what prompted us to sit down and think about this. And what's the most important thing for us?
Being happy
on this trip. We want to be happy, and we want to see these places in the best light that we can. We want to experience a calm drive. We want to be in the location without 8 hours of moving stuff in and out of a car. It makes for a really long day and really hard day of travel. So we're trying to eliminate that so we can enjoy more of the adventure.
Yeah, because on those days we go to the Automotelis. We the only people in the Automotelis that ain't doing what the Automotelis does. I mean, it's like all we want to do is sleep.
Yeah, we don't use the Automotelis for the purpose of the Automotelis.
I mean,
we sleep and we get a shower because we're hot and sweaty for all the wrong reasons. Hey, Tom, mucho abrazo. Are you going to, I guess you might be gone already. You can always come see us. We just need to plan accordingly. Could come see us in San Luis Potosí if you haven't been there yet.
We have room there.
We have a room. It can be.
I will, Tom, check your WhatsApp tomorrow. I'll send you a message.
Yep. And here we go, Terry. When you're done with the driving, it's the best ever to sit back and relax. I don't miss the driving. Yes.
It's first thing we do, give me the menu. Oh, not the adult toy menu. Give me the food menu, with the bebidas, and give me some wings and bring me a bucket of beer, and and next thing you know, I've got the bucket of beer and I'm sitting down in the garage smoking a cigar, having a beer, because there's few of them that I can have a cigar in the room anymore.
And Deborah, I'm not surprised. A lot of companies will not allow you to work in another country because they are required by law to report to the IRS if they have any employees outside of the United States. And if it's an international company and they do have employees working in other countries, they're a little more lenient, but a lot of companies will not. And if I'm going to be honest, nobody knows where I am either. And
you don't always have to tell.
No, you don't have to tell. And what I did is I ordered, you can do this on your own if you have the, withdrawal to do it on your own. I didn't have the patience to sit down and learn how to figure this out. So I just bought one. But I got a modem that tunnels to a home IP address in the United States. I got, it's called Keep Your Home IP. Keep Your Home IP. And they set it, I think it was $400 for the box. It's a one-time payment. If you want to spend monthly amounts of money for their support, you could do that too. I do not. And you get this modem. They help you with the initial setup. It is connecting to his mother's Google Fiber in the United States. And I connect my work laptop to this little router box. And you could do speed tests on it and everything. And I could be sitting anywhere in the world and it looks like I'm sitting in Kansas City every time. So that's what I do. And it's really the only way I can earn the type of money that I earn doing the type of work that I do. And as long as I'm doing a good job, which by the way, I am, they're not going to be digging into where I am anyway. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just had to get up and give my lack of acid break.
He has a bony butt.
Yeah, even with the extra
So, pillows. Deborah, if you're interested, look them up. Keep your home IP. I'll type it in here too, just so you have it. I personally felt that the money spent on it was a worthy investment. And here we go. That's right. Tom knew it was Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, well, duh.
Classic Madeline Kahn right there. And all right. Yeah. So nobody knows where I am right now. And, I keep my name and my business off of anything work related. And I do my job. As far as anybody knows, I'm in a Winnebago touring the United States. Whatever, right? And I got to tell you right now, I'm working for somebody who has their laptop so locked down, and I do mean locked down, I can't even load the router, the IP address of the router. I can't even load it. It's blocked. So if I had to change, which internet I'm using, I can't do it. I got to do it on a different computer. And it's so locked down, I can't even save to my thumb drive. I have a thumb drive that has OneNote on it that has all the notes of everything I ever did in IT for the last 7 years, 8 years. I can't even save to it. They will allow me to access it, but I can't update it. This place is locked. And it's tight. Locked tight. And they got a mandatory VPN. I have to sign into their VPN before I'm even allowed to log on to their computer. And I'm using this modem. And I'm in Kansas City as far as they can tell. So it works.
And it helps if you have somebody like my mom who is like, plug it in, and she's like, I'm not touching that thing under any circumstances.
Because she's got Google Fiber, her speeds
and everything's buried.
Yeah, her speeds are like 500 up and down. So I got great speeds. It is limited by the speeds that you get. And the other caveat is you got to do it at a house in the U.S. that you either have access to that modem or somebody has access to that modem. And if that modem were to go down, if they had an outage, it's out for you too.
Then that's one of the reasons we chose my mom, is because she's in a community that everything is buried. Because let's be for real, Kansas City winters ain't the best in the world, but she doesn't lose power, she doesn't lose her internet, so it's like boom, we're golden.
And I have very briefly just logged on and just used it. I don't know if they tracked it or not. I had an issue and I couldn't get connected. It was very, very, very short period, and I was on call, and I had to do an emergency thing. And we just figured if anybody ever says anything about it, it was on the weekend, and I could just say, well,
hey, we were traveling.
We traveled for the weekend. But otherwise, I always look like I'm in Kansas City, no matter what. And Tom, yeah, we brought that up. So you haven't been to SLP, eh? Well, now, sir. That's right. You have a good night too.
We got plenty of room there in the SLP.
How much time before I get to retire? Well, let's see. Do I want my full Social Security benefit? I guess it depends.
Shit, I won't be around when you do that.
I know. I mean, if I retire at 62 and I take the fraction of what I really should get, then I've got 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
6 years. And if I'm feeling good in 6 years, I may go ahead and wait.
And it depends.
It just depends.
If she's on a contract, because, even if you wait 63, 64, the number keeps going up.
It keeps going up.
So,
but I can't get full benefit till 67.
And so if she was, in a contract where, making good money, oh, hell no. Just keep flowing right along, because, her paycheck will be more than what we'd be getting from them. And, oh, that's right. If you start the clock ticking, well, you're making too much, so they're going to stop it. It'd be just
It's going to depend on if I have contracts or
Right.
not. And I'm not going to lie, it's really good pay. The
So-
best paying job I've ever had in my life. The last contract paid $5 an hour more than this one. Either way, contracting is the
it does suck.
it doesn't suck in my life. And the thing is your highest 40 years
No.
pays your
More.
highest 40 quarters.
40 quarters, yes.
Your highest
But
40 quarters
no,
on Social Security?
no. Highest range of. It's the highest. You don't get to go 2006, 2012.
Okay, well,
it's the highest 10-year range.
which is going to be this contracting period.
I understand that.
So because the income is so good on these contracts, the more I work them, the higher my Social Security is going to end up being. So maybe when I'm 62, maybe it'll be high enough for me to go, yeah, this is enough.
Hey, I'm a Beatles song.
When I'm 60. Oh, you are. It's like, would you jump in with this? Like, what? Squirrel.
Yeah.
He jumps in with his squirrel. I am tempted to try that. Keep your home IP. Yeah, it works. It works well. I struggle sometimes when I want to change.
When we move.
And I have to change the internet that's coming in, like this local internet, even though what's wrong? Okay. Even though it's programming to tunnel to Kansas City, you're still using local internet. And you got to go into the IP address on the router, and you have to update that in there. Sometimes I still struggle a little bit with getting in and getting update and connected in there. But because you don't have to do it all the time. And so every few months, I have to remember how to do it again. But that's the only hurdle I ever have. Otherwise, it works great. And if I needed tech support from them, because I didn't pay for the monthly, which I really do not need, but some people might. But I don't have a monthly plan with them, so I would have to pay, I think, by the hour for support if I ever needed it. And they're really good. I think they're very efficient. So anyway, definitely worth it. And thank you, Terry. And please say hi to Lisa. Thank you so much. And Romy, I see you. You're lovely human beings. Go get some rest, honey. Romy's been working really, really hard. So she needs her rest. She needs her rest and her vitamins and her good sleep and lots of water. Thanks for the recap. I agree with everything you said. I know I could have never done the driving. You are amazing. Thank you. He does the driving. He doesn't really let me do the driving, but I think he likes to have that sense of control, especially when we're in areas that we've never been before and we don't know the area.
And I have time to look at the routes and know what to anticipate. Because I literally will spend hours going, all right, well, there's a gas station that's going to be here. And when we get to this place, a couple of kilometers past that, we're going to come across, a Y, and we're going to want to go to the right. She didn't have time to do that. I do. So, that makes a huge difference, because then it's, instead of trying to communicate, this is, no, I can.
Yep. And Stephanie, you are more than welcome. And yeah, when the system's locked down like that, you don't want to take that chance.
Nope.
You just don't want to take that chance. This router, it is a router. It's not a modem. I keep saying modem. This router has been very, very effective. It works really well. You can do this stuff on your own without buying their service if you know what you're doing. I just don't have time to sit there and.
It was $400 well spent.
Done. Just take the stress off of me.
Make it work.
And I'll walk out the door. I will pay for that privilege. Somebody did reach out to me one time when I was having computer issues and other things, when we were in Southern East Potosi last time. and they were trying to explain to me that hey, you can do this and you can have it tunnel to here and here, and you just have to be able to, you know, make sure that somebody is there or that you know how to reach out. I'm like, well, I didn't have anybody that I thought could do that for me on that end.
That's not my mom.
To ask his mom
No.
to learn little minor IT things. No.
You know, I mean,
No.
it's, hey, mom.
Yeah.
You know,
is your modem on?
Control, you know, Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's.
With Google Fiber, her internet is almost never interrupted. And she very, very, very seldom ever has to do anything with it.
No.
One time the plug came out of the wall. So she just had to plug it back in.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So this was an easy, no frills way to get that functionality. And it works. And you're welcome, Deborah. And again, see, this is health insurance. All these companies are very tight.
On that, Deborah, that's one of those things where, okay, you're not going to be able to walk in with a letter to tell them at the consulate.
Yep.
So you don't even bring it up unless they bring it up.
Oh, don't offer anything.
Do not.
No.
Do not.
No.
You know, do not incriminate yourself,
No.
as they say. You know, it's one of those where you answer what is asked. You don't volunteer information.
Don't elaborate. Just be
just
friendly and smile and
Yep.
answer their questions.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
offer anything.
Nope.
That's it. And oh wait, let me go back up here. Sorry, I almost missed this. I was going to wait till 67, ducking out at 62, because the more you go, the harder it gets. I know. And that's why I'm saying, you know, maybe by the time I'm 62, maybe that 10-year spread, maybe I'll be at the higher level because of these contract jobs. And that amount of money that I'm looking at 67 might be where I'm at 62 at that time. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll deal with it when it occurs. But I
Yeah.
can tell you what, it doesn't suck just to sort of go, yeah, I'm
Just
done.
imagine.
I'm done.
It'd be so nice to be able to just do things that I like to do just for fun again. I don't know, drawing, playing my guitar.
Well, we got to get that across the border.
Yeah, we'll worry about that when we need
That's a ways down the list.
I know. And that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up, guys, because it's a quarter till 8. So we've been almost 3 hours. And I'm lucky I made it through tonight because I haven't been feeling good anyway. So thank you, Jesse and Wilfredo. We'll see you around too. And another fun night. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne.
We appreciate it.
We sure do. We're still working on, I don't know if we'll have a video this weekend or if it might end up being next weekend. Gosh, it took me, I think, 5 weeks. I think it was 5 weeks.
It would be the next weekend.
Probably.
It will not be this weekend, I can tell you. Because I'm going to tell you, Canes play tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
And she will be like, I'm going to do this. And suddenly it's like, Svechnikov. So, yeah, no, it won't happen this weekend.
Gracias, Isaac. And
thank you, Isaac.
And Peppa. And hey, Sheila. Yeah, you're welcome. We don't mind sharing anything we know, as long. Sometimes people ask us things that we don't really know, and
and we're not afraid to say,
right?
I don't know.
But whatever we know, we're happy to share. Gracias as well, Stephanie and Arlene. Yes. And Annie. Saturday for game and karaoke.
Saturday's going to be a long day. We got a Canes Canes watch and then karaoke.
I'm going to do Royals by Lord. I'm going to do OPP by Naughty by Nature. And I've been practicing another one too, but I can't think of what it is right now. I'm working on some good songs. Oh, House of Bamboo by Southern Culture on the Skids.
I thought I heard that. You up there with
That's right. Number 54. Any bad. Oh, so God, you guys are awesome. Thank you. You rock too, Deborah. Thank you. And Wilfredo. Oh, what's it like? Good night. Good night. All right. We're peacing out. we're doing another live in 2 weeks.
2 semanas.
2 weeks. And I guess it'll be about 2 weeks before there's another video too.
Yeah, I figure you know,
you're right.
We're going to record that one. Hopefully, if we can record that Friday night, that gives you a week to put it together. So
true. All right, guys. Adios. Buena noche.
Hasta la vista.
Bamboo. Bye.